yet? Can I slay it yet? Is it 1400 yet? Is it 1400 yet? Is it 1400? Can I slay it yet? Is it 1400? I don't know if it's slayable. Is it 1400 yet? Can I slay it? Is it 1400? Is it 1400? You fucking missed! Fucking missed!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is it! The final bastion of the first ever Runeterra Rising season. We have had 8 nations battle it out for many weeks now, and we are finally at the time where we will crown a champion. Whoever wins tonight will decide where that crown goes. If Piltover do manage to win, they will have held up their early season form and will win it by 10 points. Whereas, if the Freljord win, the Demacian control of these playoffs will be the difference. Joining me to take you through this final intense matchup is the one and only, probably one of the most controversial captains of lower bracket, but the Hexblast bandit himself, Mr. Expert Boga. Welcome to the stream.
Hello. It's not controversy if you're always right.
What a season we've had, right? Before we get into this matchup, you know, yes, it's not been all gone to plan, but it's been a hell of a season. You know, we've had such highs, such lows. Obviously, yourself, you held up the flag for Shurima for the season. But we've seen these two great nations, Piltover and Demacia, lead the flag in all 3 divisions.
Yeah, excited to see them. Demacia had a good run, finishing, I believe, 3rd place in lower bracket. So, yeah, 700 points. They've done it the best that they can to get them there. It's all down to this final game.
Well, that's it. I mean, we can see the standings here. Demacia up top with 700. They are in the catbird seat. They have done all the work. They can now sit back, enjoy the stream. Whereas the Piltovan team, they have it all to play for. A 2-1, 2-0 doesn't matter as long as they get that final victory. Freljord comfortably in 3rd for a team that had all 3 teams in the playoff as well. They didn't quite get to the heights that they thought they would. I mean, they've had all 3 teams take part in this 3rd place showdown. So yeah, I just need to send the links to the side of the Piltovans, because their captain, something we can talk about, the captain is missing this all-important match, so they do have a sub brought in. So this will be interesting to see what effect that has.
Captains often make or break a team through motivation, coordination. So without a captain, let's see how well they communicate, see if they can bring this one home. They're still a solid team, have some great players. It'll be good to see how this matchup goes.
Well, that's just that. I mean, they still have, you know, the leader in the jungle, Luis, who has been kind of in any team I've ever been part of or seen him play in. He has been up there. He has been one of the strongest players on that team. But going against them, you know, you look at some of these players. When it comes to the Freljord, we saw Murmur, he ended up, because they were so tight on substitutions, actually helped out their upper bracket team, you know, playing above his station, and he showed up. So I don't think this is as cut and dry as we thought maybe it was prior to the start of these playoffs.
No, definitely could go all the way. Best of 3 series could be a game 3 that we're looking at to decide it all.
Are there any champions? Obviously, I know you've not had a lot of chance to have a look at these OPGGs and all that, but from what you know, is there anybody in here that kind of stands out that you kind of want to focus in on?
Mizzou. I have
Mizzou.
experience playing in Mizzou back in Fearless League of Friends in the lower bracket, Season 2. Famously known, I said multiple occasions on streams as well, that Mizzou is an R merchant. Plays champions that work exceptionally well by just pressing R, and the enemy team seems to just fall over and die. But Mizzou, risen up, jumped into the middle bracket. Good to see. I'm excited to see how well Mizzou can play. I've had experience. I mean, as Shurima, we scrimmed against a team of like mishmash of players. We played scrimmed against Alki in the jungle. Very good player. So excited to see how they can perform.
But that's just it. As you say, people like Mizzou have come up the ranks, in previous seasons of these tournaments, and gradually every season got better and better. And that's the whole point of these kind of tournaments. But we've started to see players like you've got, what was on Piltover, the SPX bot lane of Topavity and Allegasia. And Allegasia's showed up time and time again. But on the other side, Capybara has risen up the ranks. I mean, he started in there as one of the decent players, but he's risen through the ranks and he's actually hit Baster, which is a commendment to him.
Yeah, definitely.
And again, Vetchip's another name. Someone who's come through the League of Friends kind of pipeline. He's maybe not been the most present place name in Fearless, but he is the lifeblood of that server. So it'll be interesting to see kind of how this plays out. Is there any champions in particular you're looking out for as well?
I know Alki's particularly strong on Xinjiao. Played against that. Very good user of the champion. I know Mizzou enjoys a good Aurora. So definitely excited to see that. I don't know too much about the other players, but I'm excited to see what they're going to be pulling out and see the level in difference from lower bracket to middle bracket. I wish I was commentating over Shurima middle bracket in the finals or in the 3rd, 4th place game, but they were terrible.
Well, I mean, your nation did have a rough time of it in the other brackets. Obviously, the middle bracket, I think they only won one series in the end, and the upper team only won one due to a team not showing up. So it's unfortunate. However, your team in its end, you contribute, I think we worked out before stream, 145 points in placement points, which is almost as much as your whole team has, which is something to be commended.
And I didn't even want to... Shurima was the only nation that I didn't want to be a part of in the original draft. And I put in a shift. We all did. Shurima lower bracket. What a team.
Well, that is just it. I can tell you it won't be too long before we go into draft, so we shouldn't have too long to wait. As I say, Topavity isn't here tonight. They do have Tawi. Never heard of the man. This will be interesting to see how they perform. Although you'd imagine if you're bringing in someone for the final, there has to be some prior experience playing with them.
Yeah. We'll see if it shakes up how the bot lane matchup is going to go. But definitely something to be looking out for. How well that the substitute can fit in with the team.
Well, that's just it. We are going to put the gambit up just now. So for the next 5 minutes, let us know who will win Game 1. Will it be the Winter's Claw of Freljord, or will it be the side of Demacia and the Piltover Guardians? Before we go into draft, who do you think, Expert?
Well, I'd like to see Demacia on top. It was the nation that I originally wanted to be the captain of for lower bracket. I was really looking forward to hopefully getting Demacia. So I'd like to see Demacia on top. But Piltover has got some good players. Piltover, if they win, they definitely deserve to be there. Lower bracket team only dropped one map the entire way throughout the lower bracket, so definitely deserve to have claimed all the points that they did for their roster. So yeah, it'll be good to, if they win it, they definitely do deserve it.
Yeah, we do see Mazavar in the chat asking, do any of the teams have green in their logos? Unfortunately not. These are 2 blue teams. So, yeah, only good teams wear blue. That's all I'm going to say. But yeah, it won't be long till we get into the draft. Give me 2 seconds. Just waiting for the teams to start.
Remember, everybody, gamble responsibly.
Of course. We don't endorse gambling, but we do endorse predictions. If you think you know better than us, feel free to voice it in the chat.
And at the end of the day, it's a 50-50. Either the team you want to win wins, or they don't. Simple as.
That is it. So, we see the set getting banned away from set in your face. That's probably a good ban. Makes sense. You don't want the set player to have a set. What other things? Obviously, you know a lot of Mizu. What kind of champions would you be banning if you were facing them?
Well, I expect an Aurora ban. I expect maybe a Xin Zhao ban away from Alki. I've seen Mizu perform well on champs like Vigar. I mean, their name Briar's Impact. Who knows? It could pull out a Briar mid. That would
be something. Yeah.
It happened in
Fearless.
season 1 of Fearless.
Gosh, that long ago.
It did not work. I first had Brandon Jungle and they lost.
Oh, I remember that game. So, backstory for that game, Expert was walking to lane into the jungle. He was like, hold on. I don't know what his abilities do to us. That was a game.
The Aurora ban away. Jarvan ban as well. Senna bans. I don't know if that's Senna support or Senna AD. But Senna a great scaling champion. Silas and Gragas as well. Just champions that can perform pretty well.
Now this is one of Capybara's comfort picks, the Caitlyn. You know, Caitlyn is one of the most oppressive laners you can possibly go into in the whole roster at the moment. And it seems, looking at the chat, the captain of Upper Demacia got fooled into helping Piltover. That is some espionage if I ever saw it. But we are seeing Ash in there, really solid. And I know who I want to go with. I'm sure everyone who knows me knows what we want to see. There you go.
Of course. Seraphine Ash, a great combo in the bot lane. Works incredibly well into Caitlyn, who wants to prioritise having those poking damage, being oppressive in lane, pair it with a Karma. But Seraphine offers sustain, good range as well. And the ultimate combination between Arrow, Seraphine ult. It's oh my god, I literally said it. What a draft. This is some standard drafts against each other. Very good comp so far.
I mean, this bot lane and mid lane combo, I mean, this Mel coming out, it counters both Ash and Seraphine really well. But Ash Seraphine is still nothing to be trifled at.
And they've picked Mel. What a boring champion.
I mean, it's a really powerful champion. But
it is a powerful champion.
As you predicted, Alki Xin Zhao.
Well, I might just be the caster of all time.
So, are you surprised with any of these picks here, Expert? Or we just seen the standards?
Not really.
Competitive game.
Caitlyn Karma, great lane, laning presence, and Ash Seraphine also great lane presence. Xin Zhao works really well with them, very good. His ultimate provides him a lot of sustain in a fight, keep him alive, especially with Caitlyn, Karma and Mel, who all want to be playing at range. They're not going to be doing any damage to this Xin Zhao without trying to get close to him, and that's where you don't want to be. Your
predictions are almost up, and someone could be in for a big payday with the Piltover Guardians. Only 10 betted, but 1.8k on the other side. So, Piltover win, someone's in for a payday.
Yeah, a lot. Karma has been nerfed recently, but also still just a very strong champion. Still oppressive. Maybe not as oppressive as she used to be, but these comps very, very it's a very, very LCK type draft here.
I was going to say this. Is this Runeterra Rising or is this just the LCK?
Wukong, great engage, works incredibly well with champions that can follow up on that, with a Mel route. Mel Q's on ult as well. Sion as well. Okay, this is just going to be
I love Piltover's comp. Like, like
I think both comps are incredibly well. They both play front to back quite well. Sion is going to be... I do prefer Piltover's comp. Sion is probably the best top laner in the game. Because there is not a single champion that counters that guy. He will stack ruby crystals, stack health. He will stand in front of his team, soaking damage for 10, 15 seconds before he goes down. And then he's going to do it again in passive. This champion, Sion is an incredibly strong champion. Victor, great scaling here, works incredibly well. I do like these champs. They have good front line, good range.
Both teams do.
Up on any
Both teams do, let's be fair.
Solid comps.
You know, both very much back to front. My question is, now Caitlyn's great at doing damage. There's no question there. Do you think it's enough to get through this Sion with the Xin Zhao as well? Because Xin Zhao will be looking to get onto her.
I think this Sion might just be unkillable this game. Unless Mel gets incredibly fed and the Sion has to struggle about which types of defensive stats he wants to itemize into. The Sion is going to be hard to kill. This Victor's going to get a lot of free fire in with his abilities. Ash is going to be able to glide like fuck. Seraphine might just 1v9 a fight.
Provided
Zhao is going to be hard to kill.
Provided Mel doesn't reflect it. And that's...
Mel is very good into it.
And that is one of the biggest things, you know. Seraphine is great in fights. Ash is great in fights, especially when she gets a chance to ramp up those volleys. Problem is, if there's a Mel at the other side, you might be able to ult through them. Mel's just going to send it right back. And that's when it gets interesting with this Caitlyn, with this Mel doing abundance of damage with the execute, and Karma shielding them for days.
Is that Mizu on the side of Piltover picking up the...
Mizu's on the Vector. So not quite a press R champ, but it's a wee bit.
Not a press R champion, a champ that does require a lot of thought about positioning in a fight. Depending on the items you go, I personally think Roa is probably a better pick on the Victor this game. They do have a lot of damage that can just go on the Victor, and I think the Blackfire Torch doesn't provide him enough survivability in lane and to the gank, so I think Victor might need to go Roa here. But if he's feeling confident, if they're ready to just blast in lane, I think the Blackfire Torch first item for Victor is a good choice. Definitely will be.
I mean, I don't think these two faced off in the regular season. I could be wrong on that. There's been that many games. I mean, this is the 28th stream, I'm sure I said, coming to this, or 27, but we've had a fair few streams. And it's not long till we get into this last match. So, final predictions expert, who's your money on?
For this one, I got to give it to Piltover. I think their comp scale's a little bit better, but if Freljord can find those angles in a fight, get that on to become frontline as fuck. If it goes, I mean, the on items are going to be big here, but Ash scales incredibly well. Seraphine also just supports that Ash in doing what she wants to do. Victor scales great, Sion scales great, so I got to give this one to Piltover. But I would like to see Freljord put up a good fight here.
I'm pretty sure we are going to be in for a dogfight regardless of what happens here. Both these two teams are kind of... I am really surprised we didn't see Piltover in the finals. I will really say that. Them losing to Demacia was probably one of the biggest shocks for me of this middle bracket, because they went through dominated. It wasn't like they were close. They literally came out swinging in every single game they played. However, when it came to it, Piltover, Demacia showed up, and that was the difference at the end of the day. Demacia just showed up, and that's kind of, you know, when you win two finals and get third place, you put yourself in a really good spot to win this.
Yeah, and that's what it can be. Regardless of how well these drafts are today, it can just be who shows up in a game. Is this going to be a game where the Ashe just gets to absolutely glide on the enemy team? Or is this Wukong going to be dialed the fuck in? Who knows?
Well, one thing we do know is it is finally time to get into the last series of Runeterra Rising. And here we are. Look at these runes from me, expert, and tell me, what do you see?
Hail of Blades Caitlyn. I was not expecting the Hail of Blades Caitlyn. It does provide a good burst of damage, but I don't know if that is a room most Caitlyn players go. I'm not particularly a great Caitlyn player, but Halo Blade seems like an odd choice. But for the rest of the runes, I like it. Grasp on Scion and Ornn, it's just two big blokes slapping the fuck out of each other in the top lane, so plenty of grasp stacks there. And I do like the runes here.
We see a lot of poking coming out early in this bot lane, but that's to kind of be expected here. And yeah, it's just a very steady start. Oh, see the Karma coming out. High note will land in return though. You can't expect this in this bot lane though, both teams want to poke out. Up in the top lane, setting face, using the Q, the Decimating Smash really well. One thing I will say about Toy, that mana's already running low as Alki's already coming in for the Thicant Gam onto Mizu. Mizu will take a lot of damage, doesn't quite get executed, will survive with a blinking health bar. Set in your face
Flash
has already pushed in the wave. Was that kind of what you experienced from Alki when you played in the Scrims Expert?
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of prio on ganking. Like, he's going to be a bit behind on his clear here, but Wukong does have a reasonably fast clear. But being able to force that flash out from...
And TP.
Yeah, TP gone, flash gone. This Victor needs to play safe. Bone plating, like mentioned in the comments, bone plating is a strange choice to play into Mel. I would have expected a second wind. Also mentioned in the comments, Uncle Isma likes to constantly mention my name. I might have to charge him royalties.
Oh, anyway, moving swiftly on from that one, we see Caitlyn surfing is a nice route up on the Karma, as now Ashe is raining down arrows onto this Caitlyn. Kappa has to be careful, but Pensive is here on the Xin Zhao, trying to impact the play, but Alki has turned up to this fight as well. Will flash in, trying to get to Allegasia. We see the heal from Seraphine, the barrier coming out of the Ashe, and Caitlyn will get away. Ashe is still there. Alki's flashing out and will be first blood to the Karma. But the Ashe will get one in return onto the Wukong.
Definitely worth for the side of Piltover there. 300 gold onto the Ashe is big. Karma not really the one to prioritise taking the kills, but at least it's traded back. Both sums gone from both ADCs now. Flash from both
junglers as well.
Junglers, and heal from both supports. So
we knew this bot lane.
Therapy.
Yeah, I like this because this obviously will go to the circlet, building up that the new item that came out at the start of the season. But we obviously Set Your Face take another bit of brittle from this Ornn, trying to burn him down. As things start to calm down after that early skirmish.
Looks like Ornn's going into a Thimble winter here. I do like it. Provides a lot of survivability.
I think this top lane is going to be back and forth. They're just going to crash waves into each other because that's kind of what we saw with the Scion. I wonder how long before he starts proxying that wave. But dead even up in the top. Even with that kill, due to the fact this Caitlyn could remain in lane, the gold lead in bot lane is dead even. Both of them going with the Doran's bow. But the difference is this Ashe now has a pair of boots. So that could prove the difference in these ganks.
You know what? In the chat, Rocket Belt on Victor might not actually be a bad shout to be able to dodge those abilities. I do like it. It does sacrifice a little bit of damage, but it keeps you alive in fights. So we'll see if Mizu is locked in on the thought about that.
Yeah, we are seeing the beat drop landing there onto the Karma. I mean, the fact the beat drop synchronises so well with a Winter's Touch on this Ashe, it's such a deadly combo for this bot lane. And it'll be interesting to see how they use it in these fights. Meanwhile, Ornn up in the top lane, using that Bellows Breath, trying to burn down the Scion. Meanwhile, Xin Zhao is looking towards this dragon. Wukong is there in his bot side, so plenty of room for contest. But we do see Pensive looking to get vision there. Although I think we're looking at another bot gank here.
Oh,
Toby goes really low!
Shit.
We see Vet Chip have to flash again. That's another big summoner spell burnt before this dragon. And Wukong is late to the party, but he is here. So let's see if he looks for a counter engage here, counter gank, as Towie is really low on the Seraphine here. Heal is back up though.
Lord, they know that he's coming. I think that red side here can get Dragon for free if they contest it. That was double headshot and Mantra Q into the Seraphine, almost one shot.
We see the E go wide from the Mel. They'll be fine there. As Wukong has started the Dragon on the minimap. So, as you say, Cryo's there. However, they do know the Xin Zhao's here, Karma, looking to poke him out, trying just to dissuade him from going forward. The high note will land. But it looks like they're playing it slower on this Dragon. Not looking forward to going in, but yeah, looks like this will just be first Dragon to the Winter's Claw.
Great from Freljord. I mean, a 450 gold lead in mid lane, simply due to the fact that they had pressure early on from Alki. Getting that lead on Mel is very big here. Yeah. And it does look like the victory is building into the Blackfire Torch, so we'll be very...
Oh, Seraphine, you can't stand there! As one come line does come through from Pensive, but it's too late! Pensive right in the meat grinder! The Piltover's going down to an early disadvantage here as the Freljord strike first, getting the Dragon and then getting a double kill in the river.
Yeah, this is exactly what Freljord need. Those trap setups for Caitlyn for constant headshot damage. Getting this goal, 2 kills onto the Caitlyn now, an 800 gold lead. First item already on Hex Optics, and we're only 8 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Big 1k gold lead. Support quest probably fit. ADC quest almost probably complete. Just gonna elevate that gold even more.
So ignore the support quest here because that is kind of weird, but it's kind of gives an idea of how far forward they are. Actually, no, they're right because they've all completed their first bit. So we see Murmur's the furthest through, but matching that on Caitlyn at 63% the way through. That's a significant way through. And look, in comparison where Allegasia and Braz Impact are, such a difference there.
Yes, yes.
Obviously,
but now this Caitlyn will just be able to... They really need to find some good angles with the Ash Arrow and the Seraphine ults, otherwise this Caitlyn will dominate in this lane. Triple tonic... there for extra gold, extra damage.
We've got to be careful here. Sion getting caught out here by a Sora on the and Alki's here as well. Setting Face has to be careful. Meanwhile, we do see Pensive taking the ground. The flash will be expanded from the Sion. He will get out as the beat drop does land in the bot lane. But honestly, 3 grubs for nothing. You'll take that every day of the week. Oh, Allegasia taking a headshot to the head, to the face.
This Caitlyn is dangerous. Flash and ult out from the Sion, but in return the Ornn and Wukong did ult.
Yeah, just a reminder for people that have just joined the stream, Piltover need to win this so they have they win the tournament. If it is a Freljord victory, the Great City of Demacia will be the ones claiming the victory. And for the whole season, it's been in Piltover's control. They won the lower brackets regular season. They won the middle brackets regular season, and they got second in the upper bracket. So they were right there. They had all the cards in their favour. But with obviously... Oh, we've got a wee pause, so we'll jump back to the desk and find out what's going on next. But quite an impressive start to the game from Freljord here.
Yes, this is exactly what they need to be doing. Looking for those engages from the Wukong to set up just a lot of damage from the Caitlyn. Trap into headshot, into E headshot, and then headshot from the Sick Auto. It's just big damage.
Well, that's just it. It seems like there is internet issues on the side of Sora, so hopefully they can get those resolved very shortly. What do you need to see from the side of Piltover to turn this game around?
I think they just need to scale here. They just need to scale. They need to slow the bleeding, make sure that this Caitlyn can't get too far ahead. Let Ash scale, let the Seraphine get a few items, Victor get his upgrades on his abilities, and just let the Sion get bajillion fucking health.
So far, see, this is the current state of game 1. It is 0-0 in the series because we are obviously in game 1. But we are seeing Piltover Guardians at a deficit about 10 minutes in.
Yeah, I think the 3 grubs are nice to Piltover, but I think their team comp really wants to be dragon stacking. If they can get these dragons, there will be unstoppable. I don't think the Grubs will make too much of a difference here. If Freljord can steal away these dragons, I don't think there's a way back for Piltover outside of just some incredibly well done fights.
Now, in the jungle, they do have Pensive, who is a very reliable jungler. You know, I've seen him carry games on his own, and especially on a champion like this in Shell, that is a possibility. Even with the rough start that Piltover have had, he is only about 100 gold down. I believe they were even on the jungle quest. So, a lot to play for in that sense. And really, it'll come down to who can execute those ganks around these objectives more.
Yes, definitely.
But yeah. But was this how you expected game 1 to go?
Early game, I definitely expected Freljord bot lane to have that pressure. But we'll see 20 minutes into this game, we'll see how well Piltover have managed to come back into this.
And we are going back in. We will get the right mandated pause at some point where it just freezes for like a minute, so just bear with us on that. But obviously Asura being back in the game is good, but we did see before that the Scion was starting to proxy the lanes, so start to try something. Here comes the right mandated pause, everyone. It would not be a Riot Games spaghetti code without that. You can't have a pause without a pause. There we go, and we're back. Talking of the ganks, Pensive and Alki are back here. We see the Asha will come out, the Encore come out, and the one becomes lightning goes right onto Cappy, and Cappy is shut down by the Xin Zhao. Now Alki's looking to get more back to the clone. He's going to take a lot of damage. When becomes lightning goes onto the Caitlyn. Onto Vetchip, sorry, on the Carmen. Carmen is taking a lot of damage. Meanwhile, we see the Arcane Storm coming out there from Victor onto Mel. She had to use the barrier to reflect the laser. But all of a sudden, Piltover, they get a massive pick at the bot lane, massive shutdown onto this jungler, and it looks like Briar's Impact is starting to win the lane against Mizu, at least for now. Meanwhile, we see Alki coming down onto Allegasia, the barrier will get popped, and he will escape under his tower.
Now, there's one thing that I've only just noticed, and I question the lack of cleanse on this Caitlyn. And without cleanse, I would have expected the Mikhails on the Karma at least. And the early Mikhails helps just prevent exactly that happening, where you would change CC'd permanently. I also don't particularly like the build on the Caitlyn with the boots. I think the Gluttonous Greaves are definitely a strong item, but I think maybe not the best bet now.
Yeah, meanwhile, we see Balson's Law in full effect here from Setting Your Face. Well, use ultimate to get away, and he will! He will get behind the towers, will crash into the wall. He will not only that, he will pull the minions, and now Orin has a really hard decision. Does he chase him? But he's going to get an execute there, more than likely now. And that's big for the side of Piltover. As Allegasia's going to get a headshot to the face, Seraphine's not there to tank, and Capybara will pick up the kill.
Quest completed for the Caitlyn now, picking up another kill. 2k gold ahead. It is the entire gold lead is pretty much on this Caitlyn. 2.1 gold lead for Freljord and a 2.1 gold lead on the Caitlyn. This is scary. Pensive low, Merman pressuring away.
Mizu taking a tower shot for just to pull the wave. As Mel is going to come back in lane, they will have spotted Pensive out on that Raptor ward. As we are getting ready for the second in the Cloud Dragon. As it's already done, the Asha will connect, but there's nobody there to follow. As Towie is looking for an angle. Pensive doesn't quite get the Wind Come Lightning, and it will be Alki who will smite the dragon, will secure the drake. Meanwhile, Pensive uses the ultimate to try and create some space. Oh, that encore from Towie! Literally rips apart the Caitlyn. But meanwhile, we are going to get a turnaround onto the Mel. And yeah, double kill there for Murmur. Meanwhile, on the backside of that, Ash did claim a kill on the Alki. And Mizu's looking for more onto Murmur here. He's going to have to flash to get away because this Mel could and should get a triple kill. But Ash is now here. And I don't know what you're doing there, Ash. But it's going to be a kill to Vetchip. And that is now 8 kills to 4 in favour of the Freljord.
And Dragon goes over to Freljord. 2 Drakes already. 3 kills donated to the Mel. And probably a 4th should have been given there, the Karma taking it away. This Mel is now becoming a problem.
Yeah, I mean, we all know the power of the Mel, especially into this comp with the Ashe and Seraph, and as much as it didn't really reflect any of that, the execution rate on this Mel is disgusting. One of the few champions I've actually had a pentakill on because of it. But we are seeing Pensivity's top side trying to just kind of take more of a control of this jungle lead, because he has got a lead of about 700 gold. As Caitlyn, wow. I'm pretty sure Towie had a health bar there before.
That's without fucking IE as well.
Yeah, we do see the beat drop, but I think Towie's just dead here. We'll have to try and pop the sound when he can. Or when they can, sorry.
Caitlyn is becoming too good.
Yeah, I mean, Hex Optics, you know, the Storm's Bow is going to do a decent amount, especially with another BF sword in it, versus just the Hex Optics and boots. I think Caitlyn's going to get to claim this tower for free. Meanwhile, we do see Pensive looking in on Murmur. Will get the Wind Comes Lightning, will land there. Murmur did a lot of damage. And yeah, great kill there for Pensive.
Ooh,
ideally, you maybe want that.
Down.
You maybe want that on the Victor, but that now gives Pensive daylight in this jungle.
Yeah,
and yeah, first tower.
The only shining light for the Piltover is Pensive in the jungle right now.
I mean, Sion's even here with the on, and you don't hate that. Although Set in Your Face will have to run away, does have the ult if he needs to escape. But we do see Seraphine and up there helping Xin Zhao, as Mizu will walk over there as well to claim the Rift Herald. Pretty much unanswered, although we are going to see Wukong coming over, and Bright Impact will spot it. And Chunka, meanwhile, Asura is going here onto Set in Your Face. Did a lot of damage with the Brittle there. Towie looking up to come up and help his top laner. We do see this in charge, as we do have the Rift Herald going over to the side of Piltover. They've had complete control of these upper side objectives. As Pensive is going to look for the Wind Comes Lightning in a second. Nope, he's just going to try and shepherd the Sion out to safety. As the 4 members of even 5 of them are in this top side of the map for Winter's Claw. Nothing on the bot side of the map, but neither does Piltover have any. All prepared to fight if it came to it. And Walkie tries to get some vision in that topside jungle.
This Victor is looking incredibly...
Oh my god.
Never mind. Yeah, Ashe just cannot play the game at the moment. She just doesn't have the ability to walk up on champions like Mel or Caitlyn right now. And I don't think Ashe can lane into this Mel. But I don't know who could. This Mel seems incredibly strong right now.
Yeah, this Mel is something else right now. Murmur showing up. I mean, early laning phase, yeah, okay, I'd had that early trade with Victor, but it looked a bit sketchy for a period, but now he's taking complete and utter control of the lane. However, we do see Xin Zhao loitering on the bush. They're thinking about it, decides against it, is now going to look towards this on, as we do see Caitlyn is going to go topside into this Sion with a Karma. Seraphine looks to be laning in mid against the Mel with Ashe loitering on. Although Pensive going to look for the Wind Comes Lightning here. We do see the volley coming up. Doesn't quite get anything. The Mel out gets nothing. And Ashe will pick up a kill onto Murmur in trade for the Seraphine's life. That could be important as this Ashe tries to get back in the game. Although obviously Caitlyn get jumped right on by the Wind Comes Lightning. Capybara just disappears. The health bar will go. He will get popped. Meanwhile, we are going to see Xin Zhao trying to Pensive doing a lot. Will jump into the battle to escape. Alki's going to get knocked up. Fetcher will not as it hits the tower. Alki do a lot of damage. And Pensive will pick up the kill. What a player on the Rift Herald there from the Xin Zhao.
Yeah, Sundered Sky is an item. that guy is dead without Sundered Sky.
And that's the first dragon now for the side of Piltover. Louise is saying, in Topality's absence, I will drag you kicking and screaming to this title, as Vetchip is going to get a lot of chunk from this Victor. I don't really know as the Arcane Storm that will come out. Doesn't quite get much more. But that is what the side of Piltover needs. There's something to quell the bleeding, although we do see the high note. Forgot the name of it. Anyway, the E from the server come out and get reflected, but Sam will use that Q just to chunk out Murmur.
You see, I don't like these boots choices for Caitlyn. If you're not building the Berserker Greaves for the attack speed, I think the Merc Treads just have infinitely more value here for the tenacity. I really don't get the Gluttonous Greaves choice. I think Gluttonous Greaves are an excellent item in mid lane when they can be upgraded with the mid lane quest into, I don't know the name of them, but the one that provides you extra healing and extra damage. Definitely a great item, but right now on Caitlyn, I don't see them doing much.
Yeah, I mean, I think it has been picked up by a lot of these ADCs because they feel the Omnivamp is where they've been missing. So having that is just a helpful, but I think you're right, especially when you don't have cleanse. You know, you just get popped. Meal Topo getting popped! Yes! The Surf and that stage needs to go in for a pair. As it just gets absolutely blown up by this power trio of the bot lane and the Mel, Caitlyn and Karma here. Vetchip having a solid game of the Karma. And these shields are going to start to hurt.
Yeah, right now, Mel is probably dealing true damage to anyone that doesn't have any form of magic resist. With the upgraded Magic Pen boots and then Shadow Flame, this is a scary combination to let Mel... If Mel can stay alive, this Ornn can stand in front of her, it's going to be rough for them to keep any fights ongoing.
Well, that is it. I mean, we're 2.5 minutes or so away from this next Dragon. Baron is up. You got to think, if they're going to win, they need to play a full-on 5v5 with the Xin Zhao and Sion. Because right now, in these isolated fights, Freljord will just have the better pick comp. You know, Caitlyn will land a trap, Mel will land a W, or they'll just walk at them, and they're fine. If you have this Sion, who is, even with this on, even though the on items are starting to come through, but this Sion who's had a fairly solid lane, and this Xin Zhao, who has technically got the highest lane lead of anyone in this game. And if we look at the gold, he is the second most wealthy person in the game. With Allegasia, even though they're 2k behind Capybara, is still the fourth most richest person in this game. And that's something a lot of people forget when they look at just the score graph. His Bride's Impact will just get spotted out by the Mel. Will pop out. We do see the rebuttal come out there, but it's a lot of damage on the Chaos Storm. And Penson is here. The one becomes lightning. He's in a rampage. And Miss Madara is just blown up.
Yeah, Mel getting a little bit too confident right now. Having zero vision of the Xin Zhao. Maybe not the best idea to try and take a fight. Especially with the fact that this Victor has the Merc Treads. It's going to be reducing the damage that this Mel is going to deal. And I was about to make the comment that Mizu's Dark Seal is about as useful as a condom with a hole in it. But if we can get these assists on the Victor, that's stacking up that AP.
Not only that, we're about 75 stacks on this Victor, well on his way to just becoming the powerhouse that he can be in this mid lane. And he is. Look at the fight over a blue buff. Pensive will smite it away from Alki. They always take the blast going to safety as Asura will finally claim the return topside turret. But Sion is stacking quite nicely at 1,000 stacks on his passive there.
And despite the fact that Mel is 1.4k gold up, is behind almost a full level. Mizu about to hit level 15 on the Victor, whereas Mel is just hit 14.
Yeah, there we can see it there, and it just shows, you know, as much as, you know, Mel's ahead on kills, ahead on gold, the fact that Victor's been able just to stay in lane while Mel's had a black screen is such a difference. But half a level.
Same for the Caitlyn and the Ashe. The Ashe is up in a level.
Yeah.
Now, both the same, but this Ashe is ahead in XP.
So it's interesting how this is going to play out as we are on our next dragon in a matter of seconds. The timer is just a wee bit funky, but that dragon should be spawning any second now. As we do see the Ashe will come in, will be reflected straight away by the murmur. Never mind, it didn't come out, it was just surfing. And the Encore will hit everyone! Everyone but the Ornn, and they're all dead by the time he gets in here. We used to Pentagon going right in onto Capybara. Capybara is dead! And now, Vetchip on a blinking help button, they're all going to turn into this Ornn. Vetchip is going to get poked out even more. The burning of this Blackfire Toss. Pensive misses, the wind becomes lightning. He wants more! They want more! Piltover on the rampage! In this mid lane, Ornn will be stunned up by the beat drop, and they're just piling everything into him under a turret! And it isn't enough. The turrets can't come to Freljord's defense, and they want more. They want this tier 2, and they are taking a commanding lead now in this first game.
Yeah, The communication just doesn't seem to be there for those 5v5 fights for the Freljord. They should be screaming that Sion has ult and can just sprint downriver.
Look at that goal graph.
As soon as they walk up like that, woof, a big flip now. As soon as they see that they're trying to walk up, they should be knowing Sion's coming down that river, ready to be on top of the backline.
There we go. Piltover fully back in this game now. You know, the early game was quite painful for this Ashe, this Victor, but they have held in there. You know, we look at the item-wise, yeah, Caitlyn's got that upgraded Ornn Hex Optics, but we now have the Phantom Dancer and working well towards this IE for this Ashe, even though we already do have it on the Caitlyn. Whereas, you know, in the mid lane, yes, Shadow Flame and Blackfire is probably about the same as the Shadow Flame and the Ludens, but he's right back in it, and with the scaling, he's fully upgraded all of his abilities. So all that's left now is upgrading that. As Taui is, oh, I don't like being there, found that surfing. He doesn't know they're there.
He's sniffing something. Or just, man, they just get the backs off and he walks in, gets some vision down. It looks like they're trying to set up for maybe a Baron angle or just to pressure them away. They do have the TP advantage on the Sion compared to the Ornn, so this Ornn really cannot be side laning right now.
Yeah, Pensive walking up, will Vetchip, will eat a Wind Becomes Lightning, decides not to go for it. They are going to pop the Blast Cone even over towards the Baron Pit, and they're not going to start the fight. We are going to see Vetchip manage to get a ward. I mean, it's 2 dragons to 2, right? But it's 2 mountain dragons that they've got. And Pensive will put the Wind Becomes Lightning onto the clone. They will get knock up and the beat drop, but nothing more. As Ashe looking just to start poking out Murmur. Now, if there's somebody you want to be poking out, Mel, it is this Ashe, because she doesn't have anywhere near the amount of mirroring as we see. Yeah, there's the volley, but now that's a big one done. The Ashe out does come in. The encore hits through as Mel gets popped, Karma gets popped, and that should be Baron for the Piltover Guardians.
Yes, wasting the W on the Ashe W, the reflect down for when that arrow comes in, strikes him, doesn't even get time to react with a flash, immediately into an encore from the Seraphine, taken out of the fight immediately. And this Karma needs to build. And Mikhail's here. This is a bad choice of item.
The Ornn will not hold up that Ornn will knock up few, but we are going to see Pensive secure the Baron. Now they're going to look to turn onto this Ornn. We are going to see the Wukong just say, I'm getting out of dodge here, decides against it. Will get knocked up by the end of the Sion Q as Sora running away. The team are just running scared, waiting for Vetchip to come for shields. They do decide against charging in, even with the 5 men of the Piltovans. But this game is swinging directly into the hands of these Guardians.
Pensive just being there, just 1v9ing currently, being that presence on Jinzhao. The champion is strong as it is, but when played like this, can just take games over by force.
Now, I want to highlight this goal graph between the mid laners. This was Mel's leads throughout this game. For the first 10 minutes, it was fairly stable. Then obviously she turned it on, played the game, but since then she's been shut down. And this Victor's come back into the game, especially with a 9-stack Dark Seal. And we are going to see engage a really bad one from the side of Piltover, but it doesn't matter, the encore hits 3! Pensive is in there on the back line, and even though Caitlyn is down, it just falls apart. This Chaos Storm is growing and growing, and just like this gold lead, that was without the Ornn and Sion being in the fight. And now Sion in that top lane, damaging this tier 2, but they are going to move towards mid. They might want to look at opening up this base, and maybe, I don't think the time is long enough to even think about an end, but they are putting a lot of pressure. Mama will just get popped by the Sion. We see the Ashe getting the final killing blow, and that could be it. The Baron minions are raining down into this base, and Piltover, they smell the blood, they smell the destruction of the Nexus. They will pop the first tower, they'll get the second tower, and Piltover, after being down and out in that first game, will come back and make it game 1 to the Guardians. Now that is a way to open up the series, expert.
There. I would like to apply this on to cinema school. going 0-1-0. The cameraman of the game, permanently watching his team getting fucked over by the Scion. That Scion champion isn't fun to play against, because although Pensive is 1v9ing that game, he is killing everyone. He is finding those Wing Become Lightning engages. It's just not dying. That Scion, he is there with the ults, making sure that the engages are working well. What a performance from the Piltover squad to come back from that gold deficit.
It was a hell of a deficit.
The itemization from the Caitlyn seems strange. The boots, odd. The rune page for Hail of Blades just doesn't feel like it's there to be that longevity that Caitlyn needs. So, and then obviously the Ornn having almost zero impact in the game. You hate to see it, being that champion that wants to be stood in front to help, having 0 kill participation in an almost 30-minute game with 11 kills on the side of your team. It's not great. So for Freljord, they really need that cohesion. They need to focus up on the items that they think that they want to be building.
Just look at this, Expert. That goal graph at the end, you know, it all stemmed from that one really big 5v5 around the dragon. And then after that, Piltover just took it and ran.
Yeah, definitely a solid performance from Piltover here. Pensive definitely deserves
all the plaudits there.
100% being the difference maker in that game. Being the only person to drag his team back into that winning position and giving Victor, giving Ashe, giving Scion the chance to perform.
There you go, that's from Pensive there on the Tin Zhao. Looking to...
Nearly 30% of his team's damage. Very well done.
Yeah. Now, what I do want to talk about is, the fact that Alki didn't do a bad job, right? It's not as if Alki was a million miles behind. Early on, he had some really good ganks, was really good. It just kind of fell off towards the end.
Yeah, that's how Wukong is, really. Wukong is a champion that thrives on being ahead. If Wukong can get that early Trinity Force, he becomes so oppressive. But when you're jungling into that Xinjia, who's just even further ahead than you are, there is not much you can do.
But yeah, well, that is game 1 in the books. Can Piltover secure things? They actually, if they win the next map, they win everything. We go home. The season's done. If you're a Demacia fan or a Freljordian fan, you want to be getting right behind your boys. And I'm not sure if they're girls, but your teammates anyway, and hoping they can come back and win this game number 2. So we have a 1-game decider for the tournament. But we'll be back in about 10 minutes or so once these teams get organised, get a breath of fresh air, and we will see you very soon.
Listen up. Let's change the world.
No, not this again. No.
Stage fright? Never heard of it. You can't keep your song inside.
I promise you, I'm a jungler now. I don't play support now.
We're all looking for meaning.
Even after we found it.
Ready to sing again.
And as you can see, we are back here with the microphone from that clip. We are back here for game number 2 of the third place match between the Piltover Guardians and the side of Winter's Claw. Even let me get it right. I'm just going to sort the draft link. So Expert, talk me through that game 1. 2 seconds. I can't hear you for some reason. Are you on mute? I'm getting something.
I am.
There you go.
Holy. So yeah, Freljord coming out ahead very early on, putting in solid performances on the Mel and the Caitlyn. Big gold leads on both of them, but just not able to capitalize on those gold leads. Getting a bit too aggressive on side lanes or walking up a little bit too far. Maybe not taking cleanse was an issue on the Caitlyn side. An itemization with not speccing into the Mikhails for the karma. You could say a plethora of things went wrong for them, but the main thing that went right for Piltover was Pensive, pulling his team, keeping them in it, pushing them further and further on.
But that is just it. It was such a close game in the end. But, as you say, Pensive pulled his team kicking and screaming. What do the Winter's Claw need to do to, one, give the Demacians any hope of winning the title, but more importantly, getting as many points as they can in the pride of third place for the Freljord?
I think they need to 5-man Pensive in his jungle. Level 1.
I mean, that is a tech. That could work.
Yeah, that is a tech. But no, in all honesty, I think it's just do what they did early on in that game, but just communicate correctly to allow you to push that lead further on in the game. Keeping that ADC safe so we can use that gold lead effectively. And for the love of God, get involved, top laner.
So I can tell you that we are going to see Winter's Claw move onto the blue side. Piltover Guardians will be on the red side, and Winter's Claw want first pick.
Okay.
So that indicates to me that Winter's Claw, they have something in mind that they want. Obviously, we've seen a lot of the OP picks and the Prio picks are gone. The Asurf and the Caitlyn Karma, these really reliable. So it's Engage, Damage, the Mel's gone, the Xinjiao's gone, the Victor's gone. A lot of these staples. What kind of champions do you think we'll start seeing?
We might be going towards some more comfort picks. Who knows? There's still the ban phase to get through champs like that. But there's still plenty of strong champions that are available in specific roles. Jungle right now is very much do you have a bruiser fighting champion? Pantheon with that global. Wukong, Xinjiao, they're out of the pool. Jarvan, great, excellent champion in the jungle right now. So we'll have to see. Top lane is very much a tank central role recently. 2 tanks out of the picture. We'll see.
To the biggest tanks.
Yeah,
let's be fair. Ornn and
whether or not
Ornn and Sion are 2 of the biggest meat shields we get, but the likes of Mundo still remains. So
yeah, but yeah, Piltover definitely with their game 1 comp definitely very much an LCK-esque comp.
Both sides
they're leaning into those. Yeah, if they're leaning into that strategy again, it's very much a highly mobile comp. Something like a Rise to pressure those side lanes, just to overload Rise Pantheon, Talia Pantheon, something like that, just to pressure those side lanes and constantly be mobile on the map and be able to make plays.
But that's it. I mean, we've seen these sides all season. They haven't disappointed. playing in these matchups. They've not always had the cleanest of matches. Piltover, they dropped a few games when probably shouldn't have. We even saw there a really rough start, but they came back. They showed that fortitude that we didn't see in the semi-final against Demacia. Now let's just think as well. Had Piltover won that, we wouldn't be worrying here about who wins. It would have just been Piltover. And that is, we talk about, it's only it's so close. How on earth can Demacia not just win it after winning 2 finals? If you look at the regular season points, Piltover dominated them. 2-0s across the board, especially in lower bracket. Only dropping 1 match, and that was in a semi-final where the game score didn't really matter. And that's a hell of a record to have.
Definitely.
But yeah, it's definitely interesting. While we wait on the draft, going back to lower bracket, has there been any team you thought would have done better in the lower bracket?
I think due to the nature of how the Swiss stage worked, it was upsetting to see Noxus knocked out so early on. With we knocked them out, sending them to the
Valhalla.
Yeah, unfortunately for them. Yeah, a rough circumstance for them. Both teams 1-1 in the thing, and they had a very solid roster. And I think, given this be a round robin format, I think they could have definitely finished very high up. Just a shame that
they had some really hard matchups. They had some really hard matchups. I know, obviously, I'm just look back at the tournament record for Noxus in that lower bracket. Give me 2 seconds. I don't have a graphic for this, unfortunately. But obviously they faced off against the Zonites in round 1, came a cropper, but then managed to beat the Void Grubs in the second week. And then obviously came against you guys. And unfortunately that was one of the few games we didn't manage to stream expert, but at least not live.
Manga series.
I'm pretty sure we did show the highlights of it uncommentated, but hell of a series you guys had there.
Yeah, definitely. And I know Void had finished bottom of the overall standings. I didn't really pay attention to much in upper and middle bracket to do with their team. But yeah, I think it's the good thing about the Swiss stage, and the negative side of it is that it is a lot faster. You can get through games quicker, but some teams just unfortunately just don't get the chance to come together as a team and pull those team games together. In season 1 of Fearless League of Friends, we were 0-3 in the first 3 weeks.
Don't remind me.
Came back and finished 3-4. So yeah, it could have been a great run, but if that was a Swiss stage, we would have already been out.
Yeah, that's very true. Now, interesting comment in the chat from Jaded. Now, the beauty of this format was obviously it rewarded people's consistency. And yes, obviously Demacia winning 2 brackets in the third. That's why they're in with the shout. That's why we're here today. Piltover haven't done themselves any disservice either. They've had a second place, winning the lower bracket, and now they're in the driving seat to get third. They're in just a strong position in the postseason, almost, as Demacia. And the fact that it is so close, we never expected 2 teams to run away with it. Especially over the 3 brackets. The odds on that, especially when, if you remember rightly, it was all a wheel for the captains. The odds on all these captains being on these 2 teams, and those 2 teams being the ones not only making it to playoffs, but making it to the final stages. Both Piltover and Demacia had 2 finals and a 3rd place. That's a testament to all of them. So yeah. No, I think as a general format, the rations have worked. There's a lot of things where I know we are going to look at in the off season, but it is going to be interesting. And yeah, I say this is the first time we've ran this format, and I think the point side, it raised a bit of questions at the start, but at the end, it's kind of worked out. It's a shame some sides like Void didn't get a full send of the of the tournament due to a number of factors and more. Just some unlucky things. Obviously, the drama at the start of the season didn't help things. We're not going to pretend it did. But we're not at the start of the season, expert. We're at the end, and we're getting to the second draft. What do you want to see picked, and what do you want to see banned?
I want to see Bard!
Now, we all know you are a big lover of the Bard. Let me just give it another reset, because it's been a bit... We all know you're Bard. Until... Was it yesterday? 2 days ago you played?
Until yesterday, yeah.
You had a 100% win rate on that. Friday. You had a 100% win rate, and then you came across the Piltovers, and they managed to break that streak.
They did.
And now here we go. The final, well, might be the final, might be the second last match of this tournament. Let's see if Piltover can close it out, or if it will be Winter's Claw as we go into the draft. Now, I expect the first round bans to be similar. I think it's glitching again. This is the joy of this new system. When it works great, it's great. But it has a habit of being a bit glitchy. But it's the joys of this new first choice era that the standard drafters don't really work as well. How do you think the first choice is played out, expert?
Well, I to be honest, when we've played in lower bracket, we had a lot more. Our mid laner really wanted to have last pick, because obviously the last pick you get to counter pick, and it can make or break a game. But we had a higher win percentage on the first pick in a game, so it can just be down to, can you get that first champion that you feel like the other team could be trying to steal away from you.
And have you got a preferred side of the map as well when you've played, as we see the Senna and the set
preferred side? I think blue side. Is a bit a more preferred side to me, but I couldn't tell you the win percentages of when we play blue or red side.
Well, I can tell you that Piltover did choose red side after Winter's Claw did use the first selection to take first pick. As we see the Xayah getting banned away. I don't believe that was banned last time, but we are seeing the Gragas coming out. Yeah, and the J4, now that definitely I don't think was banned last time, but we are going to see what this first pick is. And it's the Aurora, the little bunny. Great pick from Irma here. A very solid mid laner. Now this Aurora, we see it a lot in pro play. It has varying levels of success, but I believe Murma did play it when he helped out the upper team at last resort here in their third place match. And it was a force to be reckoned with. I'm intrigued to see what Mizu's going to answer with. And it looks like it's going to be the Ahri. How do you like this matchup?
I think the matchup is fairly non-interactive. Both of them have great roam potential. You'll have to see how the itemize goes. I think, if I'm not mistaken, that the best itemization for Aurora right now is Storm Surge into Ludens, because of just how much flat damage output that you can do with Aurora. But it'll be interesting to see how the Ahri builds, because there's plenty of builds for that. There's the Rower build if you feel like you need to be a bit more tanky. You can go Blackfire or into Malignance.
Yeah, and we are going to see a Volibear be picked up as well. Now, Volibear, we all know what the power of Volibear can do in that top lane. Do we think this is Volibear top, or do we think it's Volibear jungle? Looking at the first couple
It's hard to say right now. It's definitely a solid flex pick.
That's your champion.
Poppy is a very good pick right now into Ahri and Volibear. Not many people know, but Poppy W does cancel Volibear stun when he attempts to slam down. It is considered a dash for Poppy W.
Wow.
When he runs at you and goes to auto attack you. And that definitely just works well into the Ahri ult. So Poppy, a solid pick right now.
I mean, we all know the power you've had on that Poppy. It just gives you so much agency in the jungle, but we are going to see the Nautilus come out, and anyone who's ever seen a Nautilus play knows that those hooks have the hitbox of a London bus.
Yeah, I don't like picking the Nautilus before seeing the opposition team's support lineup, because although it's a substitute support, they did seem to fit right in with the
So
team
it's Piltover with the
very
substitute
well.
support.
Yeah.
Vet Chip is
So-
on Winter's Claw, so yeah.
Yeah. So last game, the substitute support for Piltover did
There you
fit
go.
right in. Oh, Tarek. I don't know the matchup particularly, but it seems very... I feel like it would be Tarek favoured. It's hard to miss a stun when the Nautilus is coming right at your face.
Well,
Don't
that's
flip
it.
that.
Well, we're waiting to see how this goes. But we are moving into bans. Is there any, looking at the comp so far, any champions that jump out to you that should be banned?
Right now, if I'm... It's hard to say. I think you need to be prioritising some top lane bans for Winter's Claw. The Scion last game for Piltover and Set in Your Face seems to have a lot more agency over the game. I think trying to shut down Set in Your Face's champion pool here might be the way to go.
But there's a good chance
for the
that,
Piltover.
there's a good chance
I'd
of this.
say-
I would say there's a good chance this Volibear isn't in jungle. It might be top lane. So,
Yeah.
do you burn bans trying to ban him out when he's already picked his champion?
Yeah, good point. Banning champions, I think with Nautilus, it's hard to know which champions they want to be pairing with it, but Nautilus works really well with champions that want to be aggressive.
Well, the Gambit is
Tarek's
out.
a lot more of a stable champion.
Yeah, the Gambit is out there for game number 2. Will this be the game that ends the series, or will Winter's Claw give us a series? But we are going to see the Senna getting banned again against Winter's Claw. We did see also as a Prio ban last time, relegated to the second round, and the Severe. So definitely saying we're not going to give Allegasia any champs that they want to play.
Smolder,
Oh,
a champion incredibly strong recently, has been nerfed, but still can be a powerhouse in the lane, given the chance to scale. And we know how Piltover played it last time when they were given that chance to scale. Also, Smolder, very hard to kill when he has a Tarek ult on his head.
very true. And it's not just that. Obviously, the Deathfire Touch Execute is kind of nutty. But no. As I say, we're going to see the Tristana. How do you like Tristana into Smolder?
I think Tristana, works well with the Nautilus, but it seems to be giving Tarek plenty of value here. Tarek likes people being in his face. He likes to hit those stuns, so he can auto-attack for those heals. So Tristana and Nautilus are both champions that Tarek can play into. Cassante, frontline to fuck. Holy.
What would be your red 5?
I think move the Volibear to jungle, pick a Rumble. It's
Rumble.
Not, it's not going to beat the Cassante end lane, because Cassante doesn't often lose many lanes. But you go first right Rumble, you are in for a money printing mode, and the ult works incredibly well following up on Volibear and
Talking of
Ashen
ults.
Gauges, but Pantheon is a solid pick. Whether it's top or jungle, we still need to see. Or is this the famous Tarek top?
I can tell you it's not a Tarek top. I can tell you that for a fact. Which I think a lot of people might actually be quite glad about. Because that could be quite interesting. I mean, Soraka top. Yeah. Anyway, moving swiftly over that, I believe what we're looking at is the Pantheon in the jungle for Pensive. And honestly, after game number 1, kind of the champion you want him on. Something that can impact the whole map at a moment's notice.
And Tarek is one of those champions that not many people play against. I couldn't tell you the last time I have played against the Tarek. So whether or not they know how to handle this Tarek's performance,
But
we'll have to see.
well, there's only one time to find out, and that is now as we get right in to what could be the final game of Runeterra Rising if the Piltover Guardians do manage to win it. Otherwise, the Winter's Claw will take us to a 1-game shootout to decide if whether it be Demacia or Piltover taking up the crown. But we are finally into the game. Talk me through these runes, expert.
Poppy has Hex Flash. Let's fucking go! We love Hex Flash on Poppy.
And we're seeing a lot of
he's a very
fights
squishy
right
rune.
now. Already going in. The bomb's coming out. But nobody dies. Everyone just walks away. But it looks like Piltover are going to have to play a lot safer now, because they are the ones with burning health bars.
Yeah, definitely. Tariq not really able to do much until he gets his abilities online. So they're just going to have to drop a couple of minions here. Hopefully stay in XP range. Okay, Mema misses all of his abilities.
Yeah, we see Tristana just poking. I mean, this poke from Tristana is going to be quite disgusting early. I mean, they have a massive advantage early on, right? This, you know, the wave clear from the bombs and the passive of Tristana. Smolder has only got 7 stacks right now. Meanwhile, Pensive not wasting any time, looking to do what Alki did to Misery level 3 last time. The charm will go wide. Will use a lot of summoners there, both flashes for the side of Piltover. Barry wants more. Oh, the electrocute doesn't quite pick it up. Alki's here to try and punish, but the stun from Pensive will save his mid laner's life.
Alki flash E right now.
Ooh. We see the hook from Vetchip onto Tawi. Tawi tanking a lot for SPX Allegasia. But they are just going to walk back to lane. Nothing really much now, but you got to fear this Tristana with the level lead now. Has the level 3 advantage. They got to be careful. But both mid laners are resetting. Notably, Aurora did not TP back while Ari did. So that is a summon advantage there. But both teams picking up from where they left off. Not scared to fight early on.
No. But that's exactly what Pantheon Ari wants to be doing. They want to be taking those fights. A lot of setup with the Pantheon stun into the charm.
Yeah, up in the top lane we see Volibear getting a nice little push here onto Asura, and the stun into the E. There's a lot of damage so far onto the Cassandra. I mean, if you look at the health bars, it's been all set in your face so far, but we are going to see a wee poke out in the mid lane, and we do see the side of Freljord have complete control over this river so far, as Pensive has to retreat back to his jungle. He has got a significant CS lead though onto this Poppy so far, as we see Tawi getting hooked on. The Ignite is burning, but they will escape on this Taric somehow, as Allegasia looks to try and prop some of this death by a touch. I told you that's wise. We'll get hooked in. The flash, the buckler comes out, and nobody dies.
That they're not calling for a dive. Alki should be calling for a dive here. No,
he's looking for it.
Smolder.
He's looking for it. Pensive's nowhere near. Allegasia will get right against the wall. First blood will go to the Poppy.
For the Poppy.
It's a single to the Poppy onto Shana. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Cassandra gets the Q3 onto Set in Your Face, knocks him up. The Ignite is ticking on from this Volibear. I saw it go down to 25% health, if that, as Pensive is looking to return the favour in the top side onto this Cassandra. The E goes in from the Volibear, and it will be a stir up and a kill for the Pensive to claim back some lead onto this Poppy.
Great realization by Pensive there to realize that he has to find something on the opposite side of the map to make it work for his team.
Oh, and Alki
about to fight here.
He was
could be caught, but he is 6.
He was spotted on vision, and there's a 2-level lead as we see the TP coming out from Cassandra, as Alki is looking to try and fight Will and stun against the wall. But Set in Your Face, he does have out, he will pop it, but I think it's too little too late here. You need to go out and you're going to walk right into the bunny. The Duracell bunny will burst out. Set in Your Face, who lives on a slither of health. He's walking right towards his top lane, his jungle, who's quickly trying to burn down these Krugs. But we are going to see Set in Your Face escape to his safety of his tower.
I'm just saying, Volibear's dead there if Alki's on Aftershock.
Murmur does dodge the charm from the Ari, but this is not how we saw game 1 going. You know, game 1 started off very Murmur favoured, but this game, Mizu. Yeah, there's a few charms that go wide, yeah, the CS is down, but the kill threat is there.
Definitely. Both of them opting in for the TP in the mid lane, looking for more of that map pressure.
But it's interesting.
All eyes on Smolder this game.
100%, but it was interesting that, you know, all that time for the turtle port, Braz Impact used it quite early and it's nearly back up. That is the first time Aurora has used that turtle port. So it's kind of, by the time that comes back up, Mizu can have used it and have it back up again. So that's always interesting. But again, we are going to see the early domination of this dragon for the Winter's Claw, as we do see Taui and Allegasia walking up. Now, Pensive is in the area, so he can look to do it. He does have 6, and here it comes. We see the grand... I can't remember what the name is, but we are going to see Tristana jump out, but Pensive is grounded from the Poppy W and is just blown up. Meanwhile, we do see Tristana pick up a kill onto the Tarek. And yeah, Allegasia has to run for his life. We'll get bombed up by the Tristana. He should just die, and he's dead. 5 kills to 1 in favour of the Winter's Claw, who are looking to continue the series and give all those Damascene fans at home a hope that the crown will go their way.
Yeah, poor decision making from the Smolder there, just walking up. But a great use of Hex Flash by the Poppy to jump over the wall into the face of that Tarek, to slamming into the wall to pick him up.
I mean, you are a master connoisseur of that Hex Flash expert, aren't you?
Yeah, when it's used right, it can make and break some engages. You can find those sight lines that they just don't expect you to... they see you flash in the fight before, and then they're not expecting you to Hex Flash over into... off of vision. But it looks like Tarek here is building into the Fimbulwinter. Again, a solid item for him.
Yeah, we are seeing, obviously, the Smolder probably going towards... I would imagine... What's that item? The one that gives you mana? Am I thinking the right item? Excellent Reaver, yeah, you would think he'd be building into that just so he can get those stacks up as much as he can. But Grubs are up. And again, Smolder just stacking nicely. Already at 42 stacks. Wee bit slow, you kind of aim for 110 minutes. So he's a wee bit down on that, but the early ones are always the hardest. As Tristana is going in, they smell blood onto this Tarek, who doesn't quite have that 6, but they are going to escape to tower. And now we see... the Pantheon back in place. Luton doesn't quite have the Starfall back up yet, but about 3/4 of the way there is looking for something there. Volibear still has complete control. Oh, the stun onto Capybara. Capybara will use the rocket jump to get away. The W does do a lot, but Poppy is here to get the counter gank. Meanwhile, mid lane, just be mid lane as Mom is called. Doesn't quite clip Capybara. Allegasia now has no mana. Will be forced to retreat, but Pensive looked for the spear, tries to put it through the Yordle's heart, but doesn't quite get it. This is definitely what you want to see if you're the side of Demacia, but it's scary with moments like that. When obviously, once this Smolder gets online, it's going to be a very different game, as Murmur will get his back stopped by Mizu there. And yeah, we see Ozzy in the chat saying Piltover is coming. They're still a bit down, but 2.2k down. But we saw that last game, and we all know how that ended.
I've got to be fucking honest. Are these ADCs allergic to taking cleanse or some shit?
Well, something that could probably do with cleanse would be this Braz Impact, who does manage to get away. Will burn the flash again. But expended Murmur's out there as well. So, you know what? Yeah, you don't want to burn that flash, but it's not the worst when you've got TP, and there it comes back. And we're not quite past the 14 minutes, so it's still a turtle port. But he can get to lane, and he doesn't really lose anything. Picking up that Dark Seal again.
I love the boots build from the Tristana. Being able to have those plated steel caps when you're ahead, that will keep you alive a little bit longer in those fights to hopefully keep you dealing that damage and taking those kills. Something that last game the Caitlyn didn't do.
Well, that is... I mean, the Caitlyn had a massive lead, so probably thought that she would get a lot more value out of those boots, but we see Aurora trying to clear the wave. Meanwhile, Pensive, like a clock, is all back on those scrubs, pretty much on spawn. And with the help from the Volibear, those will just be 3 grubs over to the side of Piltover. An expert you know firsthand, thanks to a certain Norwegian top laner, the power of a Volibear with grubs.
Volibear with grubs does a lot of damage. He takes those towers fast, just autoing away. This Cassante is going to have to match him. There's not much. He goes first item into Iceborne Gauntlet. Depending on, I think this Volibear is going into AP first, being Dusk Dawn.
It'll be Dusk and Dawn, yeah, right. As we see the ultimate come out from Volibear now, he has an item disadvantage in the Cassante. Cassante won't go all out as well. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, we see Pensive and Mizu diving. Pensive will eat a tower shot, too many! And will get killed in return, but he doesn't get killed by the Aurora, he gets an execute, which to me is actually crazy as we see the steadfast presence going out on Ari nice and early. Will he a tower shot? Alki will clean that up nice and easily. But we did see in the top side, Cassante went all out and he took a bare fur home with him. As we see in the bot lane, Talway going in, trying to survive here. He's got his passive onto this Smolder here, and Smolder is trying to put out damage. Only at 67 stack. The hook lands, but Mom is called. The Tarek ultimate comes out, but it's not enough. We are going to see the Tarek fall, but we are going to see Smolder pick up a kill in return. As Sentiface looks to try and punish, but the Grand Starfall will come out from Pensive. The E will come out onto this Volley Bear, and they are looking to do the Cassante is burning with these Intofos, but he will use them to get away for now. But Pensive is going to put the shield up and will pick up the kill. Another bloody war on the rift here between the Freljord and Piltovens. But in the second game in a row, it will be 2 dragons to the Winter's Claw.
Yeah, it looks like a very much mirror matchup of last time. Freljord.
Oh, I love this dragon.
Oh, a Hexgate Dragon is very good for the Smolder and the Ahri here. If they can stack up these dragons, you don't want to be there, Tarek, right now.
It's so sad we didn't have any predictions, so we can't. So nobody's got any Gamba points. But there's a lot at stake here for both these sides. Now, if you're a Piltover fan, you feel a lot better about this game as Pensive is looking in on Murmur. Will flash in, will land the charm hits, and Murmur will just be will survive. Never mind, he is blown up by a spear to the face. Meanwhile, Sentiface trying to do something here against Asura, but Alki is here, and this Volley Bear. Yeah, you're going to a frosty grave, pal, and it will be Poppy that'll pick up the kill.
Yeah. This Poppy and Tristana, they're the ones with all of the kills pretty much for Freljord. You'd hope that more of it could have been put onto this Aurora, but Pantheon with the 4 kills is probably much better use of the gold than it is on Poppy.
And we've seen the power of the Sundered Sky in the last match, but we are going to see Mizu get caught out here. Will dodge past the Steadfast Presence, which is good use of that ultimate there, but we'll stick around. I don't know if that's what you want to do, especially by the wall, as Poppy will E them into the wall. Pensive is here to try and bail Mizu out. He will get away. But for the side of Piltover, you'll be fine with that, because your Ari is still relevant, as we do see Sentiface try and win against Cassante, but Cassante's just having the run of it right now, even though, you know, he did get that gank against him really early.
No, but Cassante is a champion, and he is unstoppable, and he will kidnap you.
Oh, beautiful stun onto Tristana. Mom gets called. Has to flash away. We're not quite even at the first upgrade there for Smolder. We're 100 stats. Meanwhile, up in top lane, we obviously then Tofu's coming out, but where a knock-up comes from Vetchip using the ultimate. Pensive will come in with a Grand Starfall. Poppy has Talway against the wall as Pensive is on the back line fighting this Poppy. It's jungle on jungle. Tristana will pick up the kill on Tarek, but we'll get another on the Smolder. Pensive is a 1v2 right now in this bot lane, but it looks like Alki with a Steadfast Present comeback will be on a rampage. 4-0-4 here on this Tristana, and another kill, another solo bolo from the pride of Nazuma, the Cassante in the top lane.
And now, yes, the Smolder taking up the Gluttonous Greaves. I, again, do not approve of the item. I think the Smolder isn't living long enough in fights to make value of the Gluttonous Greaves here. I think he just needs that tenacity, or even the plated steel caps here, just to stay alive.
Now we do see Tristana having pulled away and taken this first turret there. That's going to give her a lot more room to breathe. I mean, 6-0-1 for Capybara. You know, last game the Caitlyn got ahead, but it kind of fell off because obviously it was getting blown up. But this Tristana gives you so much more mobility. And especially since they've got the 2-dragon lead, you got to think if you want to give this Smolder time to stack, you need this next dragon. But I don't know if you can take it.
I think fighting this one is going to be a tough thing to do for the side of Piltover. But
it's not impossible.
Cassante moves down. If this Cassante moves down, I think it's just a give.
Now we do see the Cassante does have TP now, so he can come in and engage the fight, but they do spot the Poppy on a ward as she takes the Scuttle Crab, and will just sit there in the bush. As they spot out the Banana Brush ward there around the dragon, they'll spot another one there in the bush there at mid lane. As Azora is looking to push this advantage in top lane. Set Your Face just hasn't had an answer in this second game for this Cassante, but Murmur going against the Weirdling doesn't quite get anything there. And we're looking like we're getting pings for a fight there. Mizu is so deep and will get punished for it. Alki is unstoppable. 5 kills now on this Poppy. I mean, he didn't play badly game 1, but game 2 he is stepping up. I mean, 5-0 on this Poppy. I mean, Poppy is a disgusting champ when she gets to play. But Azora has come down. We'll give the tower over to the volley in the top lane. As he will get stunned on the tower. The all-out doesn't quite get it. Tower did a lot of damage on this tower. It will just get popped by the Tristana as we see Pensive and Set Your Face going towards the Rift Tower. They are going to give this dragon in favour of Shelly. And I don't like this because now Allegasia is caught out. And even though Mum gets called, he will just get popped by this 8-0 Tristana. 2 items complete. Well on the way to the third. 3.7k ahead of this 140 stack Smolder. I mean,
this game might be over. I don't see a way back into it for Piltover.
Now, I have seen bigger comebacks, but you're going to see the objective point bounties coming up soon as another hook lands from Vet. What was looking so solid was the Argosy and engage here on the Grand Starfall, but there's not really anything there. It's a big ultimate wasted there from Pensive as Taui can't even get in. They just haven't had any agency on these solo lanes that they had last game. You know, and it's not through fault of Mizu trying. But we are going to see the first 5v5 engage as Aurora is not in the fight, so it's a 5v4. They tried even the odds.
Big Poppy ult!
With the Poppy ult getting the Taric and the Smolder away, but all that will do is disengage the fight. And no harm, no foul from both sides. As we are going to see Shelly be summoned up. We are going to see Set Your Face. He is going to jump in on the volley. They're going to charge towards this tier 1 tower. That should just pop in. Indeed it does. And that will be the objective bounties going over to the side of Piltover. And they are going to look to now turn this down onto the bot lane. We have got a Tokyo Drift Tower that will be spotted on the ward. Let's see, can he make it through? He comes through Tribush. It's still rolling and he hits! He won't quite collapse, but meanwhile, Tally, talking to collapse, and that health bar just disappeared. Got to take a bomb to the face. Doesn't quite die. The charm will land onto the Nautilus, and Tally will escape with his life.
Excellent use from the Locket there, just to keep that shield to prevent the damage from the explosion of the Tristana to kill. But this Tristana is almost on 3 items. Very scary.
I mean, just look at this gold lead. Nina 1.5k ahead of the next nearest person, and that's her jungler, who's a 5-0. That's a massive lead. Nina 3.5k on the enemy ADC. Now, the enemy ADC is Smolder, is on 145 stacks, is getting towards, you know, we're not quite in okay action stations. I don't think they'll be there for the sole point. You got to be looking towards Elder. See, Set Your Face should just die here.
Off, right?
I would have been out in the other way, but we are just going to see the Volibear get popped in that top lane. And Set Your Face just hasn't had the run of it this game. He had the early gank, but a few 1v1s against this Cassante going in the favour of the Freljord. And it's just made this...
Cassante.
Yeah. It's made this almost unlaneable, as now we see on the mini-map. Mizu, he's between a rock and a hard place, and he will go in to the Aurora, will use the ultimate to get away, and use of the Hex Gates will get him to safety, as Cassante was looking for a piece of the action. Now we see Pantheon. We see both junglers actually going into the opposite sides, trying to get some vision, trying to see what is up But we are going to see Poppy is looking for something here, maybe in this mid lane, with the 3 members already pushing up quite nicely. Now, Pensive will be spotted there, meaning Poppy can take this blue buff for free. As now Mizu is going to jump right into Poppy. Oh, no, 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 Mizu! That is a dead Foxy lady. And now Piltover, it was hard before, but now Dragon's going to be up. Mizu's only just going to be back on the map. You have two lanes pushed up into you with a wave clear of a Tristana. You need to find the fight here, but you don't really have all your tools ready yet.
Yeah, this game is very much Alki stepping up on the Poppy. He has placed Pensive in the cook chair, and he is fucking the shit out of his team.
I mean, Pensive is doing all he can. He is all over the map. 4 and 3 here on the Pantheon. But this Poppy, 5-0, has the Sundered Sky, has the Dead Man's Plate, and is working towards that Thornmail just to make sure that even if Smolder wants to hit him, he's going to take so much damage. But now we see control of the river is going to go across to the side of the Guardians, trying to prevent them from getting a soul. Let's extend this game a little bit. We are going to see this Steadfast Presence come up from the Poppy. Not much is going to have affected by it. That will be coming up very soon. But that all that does is concede this river control to the side of the Freljord. Now, we see the Snot Bubble coming out from Smolder. Doesn't quite do anything yet. As a sword
has so much fucking aura. He walks at the enemy team and they piss themselves.
Now the Volibear E doesn't quite pick up enough damage, but the charm coming onto Cassante. He will just dash away. And it looks like both sides are just, obviously, you're waiting for somebody to pull the trigger, and you just don't want it to be you. You know, they're having to treat this bush like a death bush. As the arrow is going to go in on Murmur. Doesn't quite get it, but they are going to turn onto the Dragon now. 2.7k as Mom will get called. Will hit near enough everyone. As I saw they get a lot of damage. The blue team will secure the Hextech. So now let's see if they can win the fight. But it's a shutdown for Mizu onto the Xante. Panther will get killed onto the area as Volibear falls to Tristana. Alki is taking a lot of damage. Tristana picks up the Panther on the backside, but the Poppy will fall. Now it's a 3v2. But this Tristana is popping off. Vetchip will steal what is likely a pentakill. Yes, Vetchip denies the penta, but it's a quadra kill for Cappy's Tristana. And with the Hextech Soul, you gotta think this Smolder needs to hit the stacks extremely soon, or we're going to a game for all the marbles.
That being said, they do come out on top here, Freljord. But Alki does give over 1,000 gold to whoever killed him, and I do believe it was Pensive.
Yeah, I believe it did go to Pensive. It was a massive fight there.
1,000 gold is big.
But I mean, if we still look at the gold graph, even after that, it is still so blue. It's like a frozen wasteland out there for the Winter's Claw right now. They are loving life, whereas the side of Piltover, they need to get wound up, because otherwise, not only will they get 4th place, but their hopes of winning the championship will fall away. Now, their only hope, and it is, honestly, it is one of the biggest late games insurance in the game, is this Smolder. He is finally hitting 213. He needs 12 stacks, to become the Elder Dragon, meaning by the time this Elder Dragon is up, the Execute will be live, and we saw how close that fight was as Tully is just popped! And that is the Baron, you would imagine, for the side of the Claw, although they don't look to turn on it right away, even though Piltover are questioning it. This is so damn close in terms of the season on the line.
I think the 1,000 gold went over to the Ari, because she is 1.3k gold ahead.
Oh, talking to the Ari, she gets hooked there. And yeah, she was 1.3k ahead. She just got popped by the...
Oh, well, the rest of them are dead.
Yikes, that was a big pick. And that surely is a Baron now for the Winter's Claw. Almost 9.5k up.
But I think Piltover for this game, they need to be sponsored by Dorex or something, because Freljord are fucking him raw.
But we do see the Smolder. He has now finally hit the execute, but I think it is a little bit too late as they're not even looking at the Baron. They're looking to repay the favour. They're going to rip open this inhib in the mid lane. They probably will back off because everyone is coming back up for the side of the Piltover Guardians. I mean, you look through the individual lanes. Top lane, it's 500 gold. That's negligible. It's a grand in favour of the Poppy. Again, that's not... It's significant. But that is counteracted by this Ari, who is at 850 gold against Murmur. But then you look at the bot lane. A cumulative 9.7k gold lead between the ADCs and supports, with a casual 17-0 from Capybara.
It's 10k gold lead on the bot lane.
Yeah, it is now.
Almost 10k gold lead.
That is the lead. That is the lead.
Is the lead. This combination of Nautilus hook into Tristana one-shotting people is hard to outplay right now with how far ahead this Tristana is. Almost, well, 5 full items complete. It is scary.
I mean, if we look at the damage graphs, I expect the Tristana to be miles ahead of anyone else. Yeah, 29k damage, and I don't think she's done. We could be looking at a 35, 40k damage game, especially when you got Volibear and that to get through. But we are going to get a fight. The charm will land onto Alki. The Sectash Residents come out, trying to stop them. But now the Smolder is here. Now Smolder does have Mom and Mom doesn't really do anything. But Fetch It should just be exploded here. Caught out. We do see Murmur going in with the Hextech Rocket Bell. Penton doesn't quite die. Penton is not dead. The Smolder is dead though, and that's a lot of the damage. And I'm afraid, if you're a fan of Piltover, you're going to go the distance as the Freljord breathe life into Demacia's title hopes. We're going to our last game decider, folks, for all the marbles. The Freljord are the saviours of Demacia, and we will go one more round in this Runeterra Rising. We're going the distance. Expert, we have a series.
I know, it's crazy. What a performance by Freljord there. An insane 1v9 performance from Tristana. Just being given all of the tools by the team, saying, Capybara, we're going to give you whatever you need to carry this game.
This is what we want to see, folks. You know, two teams battling it out, not just for their lives, but for everyone else in the tournament. You know, I know a lot of the Freljords, they have a lot of pals over in Demacia. So let's see if Piltover could sort the draft out. I like the idea, didn't quite come off into the Freljords comp, but they will have first selection as we go into this last game of the tournament. Are you ready, Expert?
I am ready.
Well, we're going to cast it to a quick as a break while we get this game sorted. And ladies and gentlemen, we're almost at the end. We shall see you very soon for game number 3.
1400 yet? Can I slay it again? Is it 1400 yet? Is it 1400 yet? Is it 1400? Can I slay it yet? Is it 1400? Is it slightly? Is it 1400 yet? Can I slay it? Is it 1400? Is it 1400?
You fucking missed!
Fucking missed!
I'm muted. Never mind, I was muted. We have finally reached, ladies and gentlemen, the final match of Runeterra Rising. The Freljord against the Piltover Juggernauts of the Guardians. A 1-1 in this series. The Piltovers came back from a massive deficit in game 1, but they didn't quite have the comp in game 2, and they got frozen out by the Freljordians. Reminder, if you are only just joining the stream, this is the situation. If the Freljordians win, Demacia, the great city there, will pick up the inaugural title. That is, you're looking at the Crown Guard's Doctrine, you are looking at off cooldown, and you are looking at the side of the Mage Haters. Whereas, if the Piltovers do manage to claim victory, not only will the Guardians win, you will also have the Piltovers and the Heimer Ding Dongs, some of the best names in the tournament, winning the bracket and winning the whole tournament. But as you will notice, unfortunately, I've got a filthy Eagles fan off to my right now. Mazavara, thank you for joining us for this Game 3. What a series we've got here.
Yes, first off, thanks for having me. Thanks for introducing me as a filthy Eagles fan. Because normally, Eagles and Cowboys fans, well, they don't mesh. But here, when everything that happens on the Rift, all is fair and square. So, all good, all good. I'm very curious to see this last game. We are very fortunate that it is an absolute decider. Because that way, it makes it really interesting. Either way it goes. Personally, look, I don't really mind which faction wins. If it's Demacia, I'm gonna be happy for a couple of friends that I got there. If it's Piltover, I gotta say they had the best names in the tournament, so I kind of I don't really have a favorite horse in this, so yeah.
I agree, Jack. I agree. But obviously, Mazda, we're finally into the last draft.
So,
what do you think we'll see?
Right off the bat, Asana gets removed, which personally, I always think that's a very good ban considering how things are going. This said, it's no surprise. He needs to be on that ban list. You don't want to be handing that into the final game to give a person his best champion. And then the bans are coming in fast. Gragas and Brand are getting put on the bench as well, together with our good friend Jarvan and a Viban. Yeah, I'm somewhat surprised. Then again, I do get it. The Viban, considering who we're facing up against, I think those bans are warranted. And then they're looking here at a Varus first pick, which to me is a rather safe pick. Technically, it's a flex as well because you can put it on multiple play positions. I do expect this one to be going into the bot lane. But it's always good to start your draft with a flexible option. And a Sivir as an answer. Well, now this is an interesting one for me because I understand why it could really work out with the ult. You can spell shield it, but I'm not sure I really want to be. Sivir right now doesn't feel really strong, so she needs a really strong team around her. Like, she feels a lot of utility, and only when she's got 5 items she really comes online. So that's kind of a gamble in your final game.
We have seen,
that
though,
being said,
Capybara has shown up in both series. I mean, game 1, he only got shut down by Pensive 1v9ing on the Xin Zhao and just jumping on this Caitlyn's head repeatedly, whereas in game 2, the Tristana just ran Rush Shot with the help of the Poppy over the whole team. But we see Xerath into Syndra. How do you think that goes?
I was about to say Syndra, one of the very blindable picks in the mid lane. There are only 2 or 3 people who really do well into her. Xerath is one of the potential ones that can do really well into her because Xerath can outrange a Syndra with the abilities. So I kind of like this one. It sets up for really, really safe, long engage and poke. So I kind of like this one. The Melio to me is a bit of a... Well, I understand why, but then you're kind of telegraphing what you're going to be playing your Varus as. Because if you're playing Melio as an enchanter, you do not want to be going with a Lethality or a Poke Varus. You want to be putting that a bit on the hit style version. And then the answer on the other side is right away the Braum. The Braum is something I personally like. It creates a fairly decent peeling front line. So, and will take up a lot of space generally. And then the Echo, I do like this. I like your removing the Echo because the Echo is something that would go really hard into this team. Also from a jungle perspective. And the other thing I forgot is if you're flexing this Varus, this Melio could still be interesting. So the only lane you can really start banning out on the second rotation is the jungle. Anything else, it's a bit of a gamble at that point. So I like this very much. And Tuba, you muted.
Yeah, I would help if I'm muted. We did see in game 1 there was some Silas bans, but now the Malphite's been banned. You like to think it's replaced the priority on there. But some very safe champions right now. With the Sevilla, the Melio, champs that everyone sees. There's not really any spicy picks as of yet.
True, but I think that you're good. Like with the Sivir, and this is the reason why I didn't like the Sivir originally, is Capybara has been absolutely fantastic on the carry role up until now. Sivir is one of those champions where it takes a while to come online. And when you're like that hot, that good, putting you on a Sivir, it kind of feels painful.
I mean, they did see in game 2 there was a lot of ADC bans, as with the Shen and Graves getting taken away. Now, the final gambit of the season is up. Who do you think will win Season 1 of Runeterra? Will it be the Piltover Guardians helping the Piltovers win? Or will the Freljordian help their brothers over in Demacia put pay to them and make Demacia win? I honestly have no idea, but we are going to see a Diana coming out for the side of the Winter's Claw.
I don't. This is where I don't like this pick. The reason being that right now you've got Xerath, you've got Varus, potentially long range. With the Melio, you can even increase the range of the Varus a bit. So you've got long range, and Diana really has to get in there and get up and close and personal, and you basically can poke out that Diana. So I kind of feel like the last pick is going to have to be something with some hard engage out from the top lane.
We see a Mordecai coming out for the side of Piltover. How do you feel about that?
Well, Mordekaiser probably one of the, I think there are 3 or 4 blindable champions in the top lane, Mordekaiser being one. He doesn't have very many bad matchups. A couple of those are skill matchups though, so the question now is, what are they going to answer? Because you can't just take a tank here, or that lane is going to be absolutely abysmal.
And it is the Renekton.
And this is where I see a problem with the Winter's Claw. Other than Sivir speeding everybody up, you don't really have a go button.
It's not just that, the range aspect as well. Like, yeah, you got Scatter the Weak from Syndra, but unless Sivir's managing to bounce the shurikens through everyone, Diana's quite a close range carry. Renekton wants to be literally slicing and dicing. Whereas on the other side, you've got this Varus poke, the Xerath poke, and then Mordecai will just take away someone to Brazil.
Yeah, so this is where I'm like, I don't know. Winter's Claw have kind of dug themselves a bit of a grave when it comes to engaging. And if their lanes outright outlane...
Last shout on the bets, by the way, currently 13.2k on Piltover, but nobody is backing Demacia, not even a 10p. Somebody finally chips in some pennies, trying to hope for that big payday, trying to steal away some gold. But ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great joy to say we are finally loading in to the final and last game of Runeterra Rising, and we're starting right away in the bot side. A massive level 1 trade, as we've seen previously from both of these teams. Alligator going nice and low on the Varus. Sivir did a lot of damage. The Cappy's low as well. Milio can't quite help the damage, and it will be first blood to the side of the Winter's Claw.
Well, ignore everything I said about Sivir not having any urgency early on. This should not be happening, in all fairness. Well played on their behalf. Well played on their behalf. And this is absolutely massive, because they're going to be able to push this entire wave in, and then base, spend that gold, come back, and probably take charge of that lane, because they'll have an item advantage. So... really strong start for the Claw.
What do you think about the runes here?
How this can go on afterwards. And rune-wise, I think this looks pretty standard across the board, with the exception for me on Pensive. Pensive with lethal temper, that means that he is really counting on being able to just go through those fights, make sure that he can really stack that up and do damage, which, considering that there's a Braum on the other side, I'm not sure that's going to be the case. So this, for me, is a bit interesting. I think the Conqueror would have been a tad better in this scenario, but other than that, looks fairly decent.
Up in the top lane, we are seeing a Sora getting a slight lead here, as they are going to fight nice and early now. We see the Mordekaiser passive coming off, but they are just going to walk away. Meanwhile, down the bot side, Vector wants to go in again, being very aggressive on this Braum. And Sevir's just getting a free hit. There's nothing the Varus can do right now. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Sentiface is going to proc the passive once again, but decides not against the extended trade, leaning more towards picking up these minions, as Briar's Impact and Mizu Murmur, just end up stunning. But Pensive is right onto Diana right away, trying to do, but burns the flash to save Runaway's life. Yeah, this is a dead Mordekaiser, unless he takes a tower shot here. The Ignite coming out.
Yeah, Mord has a TP, so Mord can just back off here, which he should be doing. Considering you know that Diana was Alki is pathing top lane. If he sticks around, then that's a more or less guarantee.
Pensive is staying around though. He's going to go onto the Braum. The soccer ball will land and Vetcher will get stunned. A lot of damage onto this Braum. Celia, it's just got away scot-free. She managed to get the base away. They didn't know she was there. Otherwise, that's a dead Celia.
I'm fairly certain the capybara had some ideas of turning around and just doing some damage right there, but
Safe bet is to just get away.
When they saw the Jacks coming in, it's like, yeah, no, you know what? Good luck, Brom. Hope you get out. And all in all, I think that worked out a lot better than it should have. Bit of a fortunate timing there.
Now we see the Diana taking a significant lead in form and has stolen away, or is in the process of stealing away the top side of Pensive's map. This is big, because we've seen game 1 was decided by Pensive taking control of the jungle, and the amount of influence that Alki had in game 2 was massive on the Poppy. So the fact that Jax is now put behind by quite a significant amount and is about to walk headfirst into this Diana, this could
but this is where you want to be. Look at Diana. Diana has no items. Pensive has just base, being able to get some items, so he right now is stronger. The only thing where this becomes a problem is if Diana gets out for free, which she ended up getting out, which is absolutely big. Now,
talking to getting out, oh my lord! I mean, that is as close to living on the edge as you can imagine. Dodges the pickup of the Chaos Ball from the Syndra and literally flashed over it as it landed. That is as close as you get to being dead. But Dragon is spawning. We're starting with Hextech Drake this time. So no Hextech Soul for those enjoyers. But right now, early game, for the 3rd game in a row, has gone to the Claw.
Yeah, and this is where... But look at the trades in the top lane. For now, Asura isn't really getting what they want. The Ignite is about to come back, and I feel that it's going to be... They're going to have to do something here or to get ahead, because if that Mordekaiser can just scale up, then I don't really like how this is going to go for them.
We are seeing Pensive looking again on this bot side. He's maybe thinking of a dive as we see Xerath doing some decent damage. Now we've got triple dagger here for this Varus. Not the damage just yet, but all the attack speed in the world. As they'll look to try and turn on Vetchit, procs the bone plate, and as the channel comes out from the Xerath onto Murmur, Pensive is there looking now. He's 2 levels down on the Syndra and a level down on the Diana. And this is where that kind of invade is starting to cost Pensive so much, because Diana manages to steal away those camps.
Now, the bigger part about this is Jungle right now, it's all about tempo control. And if you get, like, if you just full clear and are really fast in full clearing, which Diana is, Alki can just full clear his camps really fast and then look for invades or ganks. So each time Pensive goes for a gank and it backfires, that means that your Alki will have an opportunity to increase that tempo lead. And that is where it's going to be really scary. So right now, as a team, for Piltover, you're going to have to do something to shut this person down, because otherwise Alki is just going to run away with all the objectives, including the Dragon and the Grubs right after this.
Now, what
Grubs come up in half a minute.
Yeah, what we have seen throughout the series, though, is Pensive has placed such a high priority on the Baron Pit objectives, whereas Alki has had complete and utter dominance over the Dragon Pit. So that's the 3rd game in a row. A nice, very early Dragon has gone over to the Freljord audience.
Yeah, but the issue here is that the Jax naturally should be pathing towards the bot side here, because he's taking all his camps at the top side. Never mind. It looks like he is just going to opt to stick around, see if there's anything, and then probably just try and yank the Grubs nonetheless.
Now he does have a ward. I like this. He's placed a ward, so he now gets a bit of vision in that topside jungle to try and spot Alki as he kind of comes on his clear. Try and see where he is so we can impact the play. But we do see Melio, just like in the previous games, they have roamed up and they are right on the Grubs on spawn.
Yeah, and this is where, like, you've got these small little windows, and right now as Alki, I wouldn't be really annoyed by this, because right now you've got a 600 gold lead, you've got a massive tempo lead on the Jax, and look here, Alki's just prioritizing his camps, making sure that he is continuing that absolute lead, which he has accrued, and then don't do anything foolish here. Just take your camps, Alki, and you'll be golden.
Yeah, we are seeing the poke coming out from Mizu, but we are going to see Vetchip roam up to try and help. We are looking like we're going to get a fight here as we get ready for... No, it's not even a dragon, they're just fighting over raptors. As the Alki jump over, stunning up Briar's impact. Oh, the Diana ult is huge. And they get taken to the moons and they have to run out of their own jungle as Vetchip says, stand behind me. I'm going to put some damage onto Pensive. Pensive will try and steal, but doesn't quite get it. Meanwhile, we do see the Varus roaming up, trying to look for an angle for some poke with the spear. Doesn't quite get room for the arrow. And it's just bleeding all over the map from the Piltovans.
Gotta say, I do like what Pensive is doing here. Pensive realizing that his entire bot-side jungle is gone, so he's looking for something to get something back. And he will find those 2 camps on the top side of Alki's jungle. Now, Alki's just going to...
Oh, this is so bad. This is so bad for Piltover. Alligator already is down, has to pop the ult already. But he just gets popped. Melio can't save you from that. And it is just all falling apart from Piltover. This is not what you want.
This is just happening from proper, very simple stuff. And Pensive gets caught out as well. It's a bit rough for now.
For Piltover, you need something to happen, and that could happen here in the mid lane. As we do see Murmur going low, the ultimate is being popped from the Zerv. We can't quite see it because we're watching Set in Your Face do some damage. It doesn't quite kill the Syndra, but the only lane where they're even in touch is in this mid lane.
Yeah, and right now, for Pensive, the only thing you can do is just, at this point,
oh, that damage.
Maybe barrel it down. Barrel it down mid, see if you can get anything out of that. Because right now, your side lanes are just absolutely good.
Surely, though, Severe, she's not expected to be ahead early in this game, especially in this fast. But we are going to see Brazenberg try and clear the way. But Alki is there. The ultimate comes out. He will take a tower shot, will take 2, will get the kill, has to flash away to try and stop himself dying to tower, but yeah, this is, if you're a fan of Piltover, this is not what you want to see at 11.5 minutes, a 4.2k gold lead in favour of the Freljord. Demacia while rubbing their hands in joy right now.
Not just that, whoever got those 10 points on the Gamba right now is rubbing their hands too. So, but no, in all seriousness, right now you gotta just stem the bleeding. You gotta look for a lane to play around, and I think it has to be mid. I do like that Alki has realized mid is the place that he absolutely has to shut down. Because if he quite frankly shuts down mid, then basically the other lanes
look at that
outscale. They'll just outscale, and then there will be nothing that will go in favor of a good old. Good old Piltover here.
But that's just it. Look at this goal chart on the left-hand side. The 4 carries of the Winter's Claw are miles ahead of their counterparts. Every one of them has a significant lead over the opponent, with the closest being mid lane.
Personally, I think 300 gold isn't that big of a lead right now, but the bigger issue is that you're having to forfeit a second dragon here, and soon enough, looks like we're having to fight in the top lane. Yeah,
we see Set in Your Face taking a lot of damage, and Asura, it doesn't matter that he's standing literally in the passive. The Dominus will do the work instead, and it is another kill and a solo bolo for Asura on Set in Your Face as Pensive jumps in, but all it's going to do is lead to this Renekton proxying the wave, and yeah, Winter's Claw, they're in complete and utter control of this final match.
And the thing is when you get a first pick, you got to make sure that pick that it counts for something. Be it a denial or be it something really strong that you can play on. And right here, for now, it's just not paying out. This Varus was the first pick, and it's finding itself in a 2k gold lead hole. And all that because they took an early fight and I'm not sure that fight was the ideal one to take. So, hindsight.
I mean, it's
is
now a
most beautiful thing.
2k gold lead in the bot lane, 1.2 in top lane, 1.6 in jungle. I mean,
The bigger thing is right now. Winter's Claw has about 25% more gold than their opponents. It's more than 25%. Well, no, now it's back to 25, but it was more than 25%. So
Impact. Mizu's just dead again.
Yeah.
This is... I mean, we're not even 15 minutes in and the objective bounties have come out for the side of the Winter's Claw. They are in complete control. They pushed it on to the Piltovers. So the Piltover Guardians, they're going to have to try and mop up some of these objective bounties. But Asura will be taken into Brazil by setting your face. He is very close to tower, but it doesn't really matter. It really doesn't matter. The Ignite is going to stop any healing. And Asura is 3-0 on a killing spree. Alki's right on the back line, smites down this Jax, and he just is dead. Allegasia looks next to follow with Zerath trying to come and do anything, but there goes Mizu! Right onto the Severe. Finally something good for the side of Piltover, and Vetchip should fall next as well. A massive, massive turning point, question mark. But that is what you want to see. A slither of life from the side of the Guardians.
Yeah, and I do like that they realize where Alki has gone. But once again, Alki gets another camp and is allowed to get away scot-free. So this means that Pensive is being put behind even more. And right now, as a jungler, I can tell you that if you're in Pensive shoes, you feel absolutely horrendous because there's not much you can do at this point.
Oh, no. Allegasia, you can't really back there. And that was just doomed. This game is falling apart.
The small bright spots though is the 2 kills that they do have gone onto the carry, so that part does work in their favor. However, right now it's not really looking too hot. It's still close to a 7k gold lead, but then again, shut down the right people and you can really start slimming down that gold lead. So the question is, can you find those openings? Will you be able to get something back? That's the big question here.
All the lanes are showing red right now. The Freljord are in complete and utter control. 7.5k up, but if anyone was watching LCK earlier, you know gold leads can turn, and they can turn quickly, but you need to start getting something online. And this is the first game where Alki is going to be able to take the Rift Herald.
Yeah, but
I just don't know what you can do if you're Piltover right now. There's not much.
The only thing you can do is try and force things around the two people who could potentially do something, being the Xerath and the Varus. And if any out of those two, I think that the Xerath is the easier one to help, because the massive range that Xerath has, especially when the ult gets popped, is always going to be something you can use.
The interesting fact, and something I want to point out, is, you know, Mizu has picked up a Dark Seal in most games, if not all of them, to be fair, and that has gotten stacked nicely because he's quite a safe player. He's already at 3. It's not anywhere enough to carry this game, but it's not going to hurt. That's Pensive. No. Oh no, Pensive caught in the bot side jungle. And that's just the third Drake. Even with the TP coming down from the Mordekaiser, I don't know you can do much. Asura is there to ward off from this Mordekaiser. Dakin just play zone control now.
Well, as long as they don't let the Mordekaiser get into the pit and ult the Diana, they're fine. So this is just the case.
Look at this young. Oh no, Toei's just blown up. I mean, that's putting a football through a pressure grinder there, and it's, yeah, that's third dragon and 8.5k gold lead for the Freljord. It looks like the crown is going home to the mass here at this point. And yeah, it's looking rough for the Piltover right now.
Yeah, it's not looking too hot. I mean, you're staring down the barrel of, you know, that in 5 minutes from now, there's a potential for that soul to come out, and basically the timer's been put on. You gotta find something within those 5 minutes that you can turn into your advantage, because if not, this could be a really big problem. And considering that everybody, with the exception of the Braum, do massive amount of damage, this is just goddamn perfect. I also... Well, Varys gets to live a wee bit longer, but still that's a concerning amount of damage that was put down.
It is just all falling apart for for Piltover right now. They need something and they need it quick, because otherwise it is going to be a Demacian crown. But I mean, we see Shelley being popped on top side. They've got 3 lanes pushed in. I don't know about you, but they need a miracle right now.
They basically need to pull the trigger at some point, and there we go. They're pulling the trigger in mid, which something I am liking. But the problem is Aki has just come around on the other side, and Aki's just going to make you pay for everything that you've done, and that just means that there is going to be at least 1, probably 2 kills that are going to go over here, and yup.
I mean, this, you got to feel for Piltover. They dominated the early season, and it has all come down to this. They need to pull the rabbit out of the hat. Bryce Impact trying to do what he can, but it just seems like whatever they do after that game 1, after that comeback, it's just too little too late.
If we are completely fair though, Winter's Claw provided options for them to get back into game 1, which right now they're just clean. It seems like Winter's Claw has really cleaned up their gameplay and are just making sure that there isn't a whole lot to get back on. Like, they've got nothing where they're leaving no openings or no very clear openings to do anything here. Oh. And Pensive is just unlucky that he doesn't go into that other bush, because I actually think that they could have won that there, but still it's kind of rough, because if you look, top lane, it's a 3k gold lead, so that's basically a full item in the advantage of the Mordekaiser. Renekton. In the jungle, it's a 3.3k gold lead. That basically is just the free Rabadons. The difference is a Rabadons at this point. That's
crazy. That is actually crazy.
And you're lucky that Alki didn't go the greedy route, because I know a fair amount of Diana players who would have just gone for the very, very greedy option and just gone Rabadon second. And if that's a Rabadon second, then I don't know what's happening, how you're getting back into this game afterwards. And then, well, it's a 1.1k gold lead and a 2.3k gold lead in mid and bot respectively, which is, let's say, half items across the board as well. So you're really in a hole here, and you gotta find something. It's a 10k gold lead. One of the teams is operating with 25% more gold than the other. At this point, you just gotta
hope for a massive mistake for the side of failure to give the Piltovers any chance to come back into this game.
And you gotta commend Winter's Claw here. They're not being over aggressive. They're just making sure that they're putting out a vision, and they're just basically forcing them to come in on the other side. And look here, it's a oh boy.
Oh, a horrific fight for Piltover. That could be that. Murmur is on a rampage. They're looking to trade one back though. Safe is literally walking up. I believe he's in Brazil. He's come back out of it. Oh, he's about to come back out. He's out of it now. And it is an ace for the Winter's Claw. The frostbite is burning. And you can hear the screams of joy coming out of Demacia.
Yeah, and this just means that basically, I mean, with the soul coming in, and right now it is... You're getting into territory where the other team is operating on a 35% more gold lead. It's not going to get any better here. And again, Alki is deciding to basically give them half a chance. He still hasn't built the Rabadons yet, because if he had gone Rabadons here, this would have just been curtains. I just don't see how you survive that burst early on. So it's rough across the board. Like, Mordekaiser is still sitting on 1 item, whereas Renekton has 2 and a couple of components. So
I mean,
the
if you're
jungler is...
If you're Piltover, you have one last stand.
Yeah, but the problem is that for now, it doesn't feel like they're getting it. Like, Winter's Claw is not giving anything. They're making sure that they are just very, very consistent. The only way this works is if Mizu does hits multiple people with his ultimate. Oh, we might see some engagement on the Renekton here.
Are going in. Asura trying to wait. He will live with his life, but all while that's happening, he's escaped into the clutch of the team who are burning down the Nash. Now Mordekaiser is on the bot side. He does have TP, so he couldn't impact the play, but they're just saying, nah, we're going to give it. We're going to try and get some gold in our coffers by taking this tier 1 on the bot side. It's a tier 1 tower with a bounty on it for a Baron, but when you're 14.3k down, you need to swing for the fences, and I don't think a tier 1 tower will do that.
No, well, taking that turret instantly gave them 1.2k gold, so it kind of offsets the gold that the other team got from the Baron. So it's 1.5, so it's only a 300 gold lead and swing for the other team. And if you even look at here, technically it's even a negative play.
Alki is prowling in the jungle, looking to try and steal away where he can on this bot side, but they're just running at them in the mid lane. This first pick, Varus, has really not worked, while this counter pick of the Sivir has fully cooked with the help of Vetchip on the Braum. Now Alki is going to get caught, but will be able to blast cone to safety. Seiface couldn't really do anything really to pressure, and because you know the Frail Yording powerhouse are powering down your lanes, you can't really do anything now. They have to mount one final stand. 15k down on Winter's Claw with so much gold still standing on their 2-level gap in top lane, and they are literally trying to take anything. They're trying to take down the Syndra, doesn't quite get it. Pensive will take a Moonfall hit from this Diana, and now they're collapsing on this bottom side tier 3, charging down. The inhib will fall down on this bot side. The 4 men of the Claw are there now. Interesting, Syndra's not in that fight, but she's going to now TP to top side, where the Winter's Claw, they are moving around. They want to completely rip open this Piltover base, like Jinx after that arcane explosion at the start. But we are going to see Alki get almost popped. We'll go into the Zonyas to survive. But Murmur is unstoppable. Murmur is literally laying waste. A triple kill. Diana will steal the Penta, but it doesn't matter. The Freljordians will secure 3rd place, but more importantly, Demacia, in the words of Garen, are your champions.
And at the end there, they literally tried to get shut down the Alki. They really wanted him badly, but it was not to be. And congratulations are in order for Demacia. Demacia bringing it home. So that's kind of nice. Piltover, I mean, you had a rough run. No matter how you look at it, this game, I don't think it comes down to one aspect specifically. Game 1, they opened some doors, letting others come through after creating a lead, and then were able to wrestle the great game from their opponents. Game 2, they kind of got stamped a bit. And then game 3, well, that just means that they end up with a big win here. So rough times, but still, all in all, two very worthy regions battling over the first Runeterra Rising, and you gotta say that part has really cooked.
But yeah, congratulations to the Massey. And as you can see here, their lead from the playoffs, where they pulled a massive haul. 2 nations winning their division, and the lower bracket pulling out all stops and picking up a 3rd place. Congratulations, and we are now going to introduce your 3 winning captains. So yeah, here we go. Congratulations, Demacia. You have done it. You are the inaugural winners of Runeterra Rising. How do you guys feel?
Thank you.
Anyone want to go first?
Let's start with Terra. Terra, obviously you were the only side to not win, but you put on a hell of a fight, only falling in the playoffs to the Shuremans, who went the distance. You guys put up a hell of a fight, and then obviously you managed to beat the Freljordians in a bloody match. Obviously, you know, you guys have been helped by the upper bracket, but you guys played an important part. What's been the decisive moment for you guys in your division?
For us, in lower, I think Shurima put up a hell of a fight. The fact that we had to face them twice during Swiss stage kind of didn't have the mental the second round going into them, which led us into going up against Piltover, the arguably the strongest team in, but not even arguably. They were practically undefeated. So, like, the fact that we got them in semis kind of put us short, but then we went into
so it was Piltover you faced. So yeah, you know, you guys had to fight the gauntlet there. Who obviously you guys? Who was your kind of standout member on your team that helped you get there?
I'd say it was mostly Sintet and Mads. Mostly. Sintet helped a lot with the scouting, all the draft preparations and stuff. So we had a game plan going in to the games thanks to Sintet. But in the games, Mads' shot calling and target prio, and then our talks after the games, really going over the important parts. Like, we need to get better at this, and this, right? If we want to do better in the games, and that really helped. So it's mostly to them. I'm not gonna lie.
Misko, same question to you. Obviously, you guys had a rough start. You guys kind of struggled. Well, not struggled, but you guys came in as the lowest seed to playoffs. What was the kind of big changing point for you guys that led you to not only win but win at a canter in the playoffs?
So the only games we dropped this tournament was actually when we had subs in. First series, both me and Zeman weren't playing, and then on the tiebreaker for 3rd and 4th seed, Zeman wasn't there. But on the series that we had full 5-man, we didn't drop a single game. We 2-0'd and we 3-0'd everyone. So yeah, I think that just shows that we were clearly a step above the rest of the teams in the middle bracket.
Yeah. I hear you're inting day 0 right now.
I'm eating day 0.
oh.
Oh yeah, we were playing a draft.
Yeah, see.
I was 1v9. My team wasn't playing. Unlucky.
Well, there you go. And then same question to you, Linium. You know, you guys came out swinging. Obviously, since week 1, you guys were right up there. You were the only team in Demacia to completely go unbeaten throughout the tournament. Who's been your standout on your team?
Let's be real. Could you ever imagine me losing? No, but I think the standouts. I mean, first, the biggest standout performance would have to be to Fabian.
Okay.
Like my jungler was fucking crazy with it. He basically controlled the early game macro, and then we went 50-50 to mid game macro, and then I would take control over late game macro. And then, of course, we have the draft preps that I made. After seeing his champion pool originally, I saw Assassin, 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 and I said, can you pick up any champions? No. I guess we're doing Age Elite T1 drafting style.
Nice. But yeah, again, you guys kind of ran that upper bracket. Obviously, Piltover, there was a few moments there where they looked like they were maybe going to make a final of it, but you guys in the end came away 3-1. I think, if I remember right, it was a 3-1 victory.
3-1, yeah.
Hello says, did you have any help with these lower teams, kind of helping them with draft, helping them learn, or was there anything there?
Yeah, on that note, Pantera. I see you. I see you.
Yes.
Sent it for draft prep. Where's mine? Where's my tags?
I feel like I don't know how much you were in contact. Wait, no. Now that I remember, you did help out with you did help out with a lot of drafts.
Basically for the middle and lower brackets, I went onto the Drafter LOL websites and I basically did draft prep for them for every scenario.
Nice.
I sat for I think a total of 6 or 8 hours one day and just did draft prep for all 3.
Damn. That's
And
I think in
and
the
then
end,
other than
that's
that, I gave input in between the drafts on the games.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the secret to your guys' success in the end. Because yes, all 3 of your teams shown up when it mattered, but you worked as a nation, kind of helping each other, helping each other learn. I'm sure, Terry, you'll say, even throughout this tournament, you've kind of seen a marked increase in everyone on the team kind of push through and become better.
Mm-hmm.
And then Misk, obviously, as you say, when there's been subs, your team maybe not quite reached the levels, but when you were there as a 5, you guys were an unstoppable force.
Yeah. I think for sure Dan helped a lot with our draft as well. He created even in the finals games from game 1 and onwards, he was in the VC as well, like helping us what to pick and stuff. So yeah, it was a team play in the end.
And at the end of the day, you don't win a Nations War without help from everyone else. And I know I saw a lot of the Piltovans. Louis was in pretty much every Piltovans game, helping out the lower teams. But you guys, as I say, showed up when it mattered. Winning 2 finals and getting that 3rd place. That's nearly the maximum haul you can get out of those playoffs. Coming into the regular season, you guys were in 2nd place. You were in a solid spot. Obviously, with Piltover having, I think, 3 first seeds, or 2 first seeds and a 3rd, in a 2nd place. Sorry, they were the top of the leaderboard, but you can't ask for more. Have you got any questions, Mazavar?
Yeah, I got a question because we've very clearly heard what the higher teams have done for the lower teams. But now the question is, what have the lower teams actually done for the higher teams? Because I'm fairly certain that, maybe in research I could have done something or looked something up. But there's got to be something that goes the other way, right? So what did your lower teams do for your higher teams?
Motivation. I won't say more because it might be incriminating.
What have you done, Tara?
Hey. I haven't done anything. I brought motivation. That's about it.
Well, that's nice to hear. And then the final part, which to me is always interesting, is did you guys scrim in between your divisions? And if so, how did you make sure that didn't become an absolute stump, but somewhat was a fair experience or like a learning experience for both teams?
I'm not sure what the lower teams did, but we had 0 practice ever.
Wow.
Yeah, this is pretty much the same. I think we played maybe like two sessions of 5-man flex, but only like 2 or 3 games most. And that's about all the practice we had.
For middle bracket, the only time we talked to each other in VC was legit the official, so we didn't scream, we didn't play flex, nothing.
Yeah,
but
that is our... That is alright.
Yeah, but shout out to Runeterra Rising, because me and the boys from middle bracket are gonna run the same team back for mini LCS as well.
That is what we'd love to hear, because again, the whole point of this tournament is for people to kind of make bonds, meet players they maybe wouldn't normally play with, and kind of go on to play in other tournaments like the mini LCS, which is starting soon, 29th of June. Make sure you get your sign-ins for that. Not sponsored, totally. But no, honestly, guys, massive congratulations to you guys. You guys are the inaugural winners. Was there any teams that stood out for you that you faced?
I would have to say probably Void was the most difficult. And I would say probably Piltover was the easiest.
Now that is fighting talk for next season. That is, if I ever heard... Go on, Misko.
I would say Piltover was the easiest as well, and then I would say probably Freljord was the hardest.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, good
Shout
shout.
out my goats for winning us. Yeah.
To be fair, I think Freljord, they were really unlucky to not be in with a shout. I mean, they also had 3 teams in the playoffs, but unfortunately didn't quite make it through the semis, even though they had a second seed in the lower bracket. And even then, Terra's team gave them a run for the money in the third place matchup. But no, honestly, guys, congratulations! You guys are the inaugural nation winners of Runeterra Rising. And yeah, thank you guys for taking part. Thank you for joining us. And we'll let you guys go. Enjoy the celebrations.
Crystal, one important question though for our organizer Tuba, because on the mini LCS we've already seen what the trophy looks like. What does the trophy look like for Runeterra Rising?
So we didn't get a chance to make one. However, obviously the logo that you did see on the desk, that would have been what it was. We might, who knows? We might get one for season 2. You never know. But guys, that is going to be it for tonight's stream. Thank you very much. I can tell you, we do have plans to run this back later in the year. We don't have a date yet. We are looking towards the tail end. I can tell you there is going to be a massive overhaul of a lot of things, because we tried some things. Some things worked out great. Some things didn't really work. And Mazavar, I have already paid out the gamba. So there is going to be an overhaul of some things. We will give you more information as we work it out. I will be trying to reach out to some people, trying to build a team to help me rebuild some of the rules. Because as we all know, some of it's really not worked. But what has worked really well. And I am so excited that we will have a Runeterra Rising Season 2. You're going to have to come back later in the year to find that out. But for now, we're going to leave you there. Big shout out to Freljord today. You guys played an amazing series. Congratulations on getting 3rd place in your division. And we will quickly show the final standings. 700 points for Demacia, with Piltover very close behind on 685. Freljord will finish on 390, Zon on 255, and Shurima on 245. Then you go to your Ionias on 165, Noxus on 120, and the Void, who had a really rough, and we're playing 2 teams v3 if every other nation, ended on 20. So a hell of an inaugural season, folks. Big shout out to anyone who's played, casted, helped behind the scenes. We love you all. Unless you've got any other final words, Mazavara?
I have none, other than go Eagles, go!
And on that note, the battlefield has fallen silent for now. There will be another war soon. Take care for now, and we will see you after the war that is mini LCS. Take care, folks.